Yeah. Yeah.
Narvaza on the beat.
Yeah. Let's get this shit. Gene collective, introspective, doing mine that twin perspective. Far east got God genes, I'm manifesting that raw sheen. By all means, my mind gleams that blockchain state mining. The rhyme king with timing, third eye beam. I mean, revelation that hell's door, you don't even know what you sin for. That bad lore go hardcore, resurrected that black and more. San Simon, blood diamonds, crucifix inverted Mayan, pharaohs, black gold, that light body with a dark soul. Psycho, nitro, I stay receiving those downloads. I see through death with my eyes closed. I'm infinite, like time froze. Luminous, endless. I measure earth by inches. Motivational gin prints through crystal balls I witness. Akashic, prophet, melodic and gothic. So conscious, honest, no lie, I promise. You don't think that I'm Amish. I stay cloaked, no comics. Yeah, I speak Ebonics. I move the stars like comets. New dimensional concepts, international mindsets. Projects landed in Tibet. Astral sight, I'm in commit. Say events in that lingo. Casting spells that sinful. Kundalini, that serpent twist. Alchemize that perfect mist. Wise up, your time's up. I'm here to give you a mind fuck. I'm on a mission, you caught in lust. That's the difference between you and us. Iridescent, incubus. In your dreams like a secret crush. 9-3, that's all me. Conjure up them zombies. So fuck the rest, they phonies. I kept the puzzle in one piece. That bad lore go hardcore. Resurrected that black and more. San Simon, blood diamonds. Crucifix inverted Mayan, pharaohs. Black gold, that light body with a dark soul. Psycho, nitro, I stay receiving those downloads. I see through death with my eyes closed. I'm infinite, like time froze. Luminous, endless, I measure earth by inches. Motivational gin prints through crystal balls I witness. So groovy, Sufi, I stay crowned, no kufi. I came up with those Sunnis until I got unruly. Watch me work this sonic burst. Hit a lift up, any curse. Kill the vibes, let it all disperse. Call a nurse to come heal this verse. Paradigm, alkaline, I shift the matrix to my design. I flash the omens, can you keep the signs? The planet sync, now they all align. Heat it up, leave them all provoked. Reversing that osmo, triple dark, that iron soap. Where I'm at, can't drop the low. Where I'm at, can't drop the low. Where I'm at, Bohemian Grove. Yeah.
Alright. Yep. Oh, fuck, we back in there, man. We back in this bitch. Fucking exhausted. Oh my god, I'm fucking exhausted, I'm not gonna lie. I'm fucking exhausted. Hold on. Spent the last 3 days trying to get this shit set up. What's up, Terapath? What's up, Keenan? What's up, L Ray? 93. What's going on, everybody? Hey, I'm gonna turn the music back on. I'll have it low. Hold on. So it can just be in the background. Alright. What's up, Immortal 72? What's up? Hold up, the mic kinda going crazy. Hold on. Alright, that should be better. I'm fucking exhausted. Hold on. It may be a little too loud. Hold on. Maybe a little too loud. Yeah, this is what I'll do. Let me just put on some instrumental. We'll put on some Egyptian music. I think my voice is like overpowering this shit. Alright, hold on. Oh yeah, here we go. Put on something a little bit more soothing. Alright. Hold on. Alright, there we go. So, turn it down just a little bit. Alright. Just getting this sound right. What's up, Dank Wizard? What's up? What's up? But as I said, turn that down. Hold on. Let me get these levels right. Hold up. Let's get the levels right. That shit is loud as fuck, right? Hold on. Let me get it to where it's not that loud. Hold on. Alright. Anyway, here I'll just turn it down this way. That way it's not so loud. What's up, Young Sheba? So, as I said, last couple days, it's been exhausting. I had to break the bank on motherfuckers. I had to break the bank. I had to get a whole nother laptop. So that's what y'all see now. So, fucking whole nother laptop on this bitch. I had to break the bank, right? So we can get back to where we was before. Even better, so I can be showing y'all shit on screen. You know, all the stuff that y'all used to seeing, right? So that, you know, like for the past 2 months, you know, I had to just be strictly on the phone. And, you know, we were dealing with all those glitches and all that. So we should be past all that at that point. But I had to break the bank, right? I'm like, fuck all that, right? Because what happened, the previous laptop suffered some damage, water damage, got water damage, no longer had cut on, so it's completely dead at this point. It was just like beyond repair, right? I took it to the shop, they said this shit is beyond repair. Like we can't even repair it. I'm like, yeah, this shit is crazy. So I had to dish out some funds for a brand new laptop. So that's where we at now. So if the levels ain't all right, if the cameras, if the lighting is like, I just came on here. So as we go on, you know, it'll be a lot better as we continue to progress. Because what I didn't want to just ask for help. See, so I'm fucking up the screen already. I ain't want to ask like, oh shit, my laptop is fucked up. Can y'all help? I'm like, nah. Like, let me just handle this shit on my own. Let me handle this shit on my own. Then when we get back, once I get this shit handled, then y'all see what's up. So any support will help. That's basically what I'm asking. Any support. I had to completely break the bank just for us to get back to where we was, so we can do shit better, right? So if y'all liking this setup, and again, I'm going to continue to improve it. You see, I'm definitely investing in the product, right? We're going to make this as good. The camera may even be better, right? But this laptop is definitely stronger, right? This is like double the power of my last one. So I should be able to do everything we was doing, showing all type of stuff. And even at more higher quality. I think this should be in like 1080p right now, right? So we should be streaming in high quality. This is HD, right? So I made sure to get the right equipment, right? So all the money I made, just threw it right back into the channel, threw it right back into the equipment. You know, it was much needed, so that way we don't have to do no phone shit no more, right? So we done with the phones. We're gonna go strictly from the laptop, from here on out. It's really HQ, yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So I had to fucking break the bank, like real shit. I'm like, let me invest back into y'all, right? Y'all continue to invest in me, so let me invest back in y'all, right? So that's what I wanted to do, right? You know what I mean? That's so. You can see the proof right in your face, right? So everything is going to be high quality. Everything is going to be HD, right? Everything is going to be as it should, like any other channel, right? So we definitely improving. We right up there with the big dogs, right? So again, I'm not going to do too much like screen sharing and all that on this particular one, because this is the first one. I literally just not got up, but set everything up. I literally just set everything up, you know, just to come on, just to let y'all know what was going on. I know y'all ain't seen me in a couple days, because I've been grinding, like ridiculously grinding, like to the point where I'm exhausted. Like I finally let y'all see me and I'm just exhausted because I had to install a whole nother operating system. Like, that's what I've been doing all day, all night, restoring all the files, moving files. I've been doing this technical work, troubleshooting. This shit has been lasting for a couple days, just so I can present myself as I am now, right? So that's all it is, right? So I just wanted to I had to throw a bit back. I had to throw a bit back into this, right? So, and again, you see, I waited after the fact, so I wasn't gonna ask y'all before, but I'm asking you now, right? So any support is appreciated. Did you see what we're doing with it? You see what's going like this is it. This shit is super high quality. I don't know why, but this is a way stronger laptop, right? It's way stronger than last time. I think I had like a MacBook Air, so we didn't upgrade it to the MacBook Pro. So we on the MacBook Pro, which is like, you know, you don't get no better than that, right? So that's as high quality as you get. You don't get no better than that, right? So we MacBook Pro right now, and we're gonna make it happen, right? He's at the M1 chip. Yeah, crazy. I'm not even sure what all that stuff means yet. I'm not even sure what it all means yet. You know what I mean? Like I was on Windows all the way up until maybe 2020. So it's only been like since 2020, since like right before the pandemic. That's really when I started fucking with Apple. I didn't really start fucking in. I was fucking with the iPhone since 2019. So all this is within the last couple years for me. Previous to that, I was just strictly Android and Windows. So it wasn't until 2019 that I started messing with the iPhone, and it wasn't until 2020 that I started messing with, you know, the MacBook Air. So now that we're in 2022, I had to upgrade to the MacBook Pro. Right? So all this stuff is recent to me, so I'm learning. Again, that's why it's taking me a minute to even catch up, trying to, you know, set everything up. Because even though you can say I'm tech savvy, this shit, like, I had to research everything. I had to YouTube all this stuff, so I literally had to do everything on my own. Like, I easily could have took it to the Apple store, but I'm like, why take it to the Apple store if I can figure this out on my own? So that's why it's been taking a little long, because I'm like, let me figure this out on my own so we can get it to where it needs to be, right? So that's what it is. So that's what's been going on for the last couple of days, just trying to set everything up. I mean, had to find a correct laptop, so that we right back at it, better than ever, right? So 2022 going into 2023, we better than ever, right? So again, so moving forward, everything should be spectacular. Everything should be spectacular. So I don't even remember what's the title of the video. I think it's something about energy vampires. So let's get to some knowledge, right? And y'all see, I had to take a shot of the tequila. I haven't even drinking anything. I got the vodka. So y'all see, it's the same amount. I haven't drinking anything since the last time y'all saw me. So basically, the last live stream where I was fucked up. Cause I was just hustling, I was just grinding. I didn't even have time to take no sips or nothing. So this is literally the first time I'm drinking since the last time y'all saw me on screen. Right, so that was like 3-4 days ago at this point, right? So this is my first time taking a drink 3-4 days, because that's just how focused I was. That's just how serious I was, right? And I just did it just to get my energy up a little bit, right? Energy of the vampires. It's something else too. Hold on. I don't even remember what I put the title. Hold on. Give me a second. I gotta go into my own live stream. Hold on. What is it? Oh yes, Draconic forces. All right, there we go. Draconic forces, energy of the vampire. Right, libations. Well, shit, yeah. If y'all want to take a drink, all right, fuck it then. So we will dedicate this to the spirits of the dead. You know, those who have transcended. Those who have transcended in the name of hip hop, in the name of 93, in the name of the occult, in the name of any illumination of the people, right? Because we know we have people die every day. But then you have the people who dedicated their entire life to making sure that we can do what we do now. Meaning there's people that dedicated their entire lives so that the occult is preserved so that we can pick it up and take it to the next level. So we definitely want to honor those people, the people that dedicated their entire lives to make sure that we had the game and we can take it to the next level. We can take it to the 21st century. And so the future generations could then take it to a whole nother level, right? That's all we're doing. We're preserving it so that the future generations can take it to an even higher level that we can even take it, right? So that's what it is. So we're dedicated to those who came before us and also those who will come after us. So we're dedicated to the ancestors, but also the future generations, right? For those who will come after. To continue the legacy, right? This most royal legacy, the royal arts, right? This art of alchemy. So definitely. So I'll take a shot for that, right? So 93. Man, this alcohol be hitting different. Because as y'all know, I'm not a drinker. You know what I mean? I don't, it's like I don't drink alcohol outside of this, right? Because as I said, the last time I took a sip was I was on camera with y'all, right? So I don't really drink outside of this. You know, outside of this particular environment, you know, to channel up the energy. You know what I mean? I don't do it for fun. I don't just do it for recreation. Right? It's to bring up the spirits. It's to wake up the dead, right? To give to the living, to awaken the dead, to depart the wisdom to the living, right? So anything outside of that, I'm probably not fucking with, right? But yeah, the alcohol hit different though. You know, being somebody who smoked weed, right? You know, I'm still sober from weed. I still haven't smoked weed. So basically the only thing I'm doing is drinking at this point. And basically lighting up the tobacco. So I may even light up the tobacco, but yeah, besides that, that's all it is, right? So I've been super sober. Just enjoying being sober. Like that should be having me super focused, right? As you see, this is shit like this happen. Right? But let's get to it, right? So the first part of this is called Draconic Forces. Now the reason I titled this Draconic Forces, because for those who don't know, Draconic, you can say, is short for Draconian, right? Excuse me. Draconic is short for Draconian. And the Draconians, for those who are into aliens, the Draconians are from the constellation of Draco, which is one of the oldest constellations in the universe. Now, according to the story, the Draconians are the actual creators of this universe. So they feel entitled to do essentially as they please. Because like, we created this environment, or you can say they created the matrix, not just the physical matrix, but everything before the matrix. However, as more and more species came along, like as we call the reptilians, the Syrians, the Pleiadians, so on and so forth, right? The Greys, right? We got all these names, right? You can say these are the younger souls. So they came in, you could say just like the Jedi. Like you had the Sith Lords and you had the Jedi. Right? The Jedi, you can say, are the younger spirits. The Sith Lords, you can say, predate the Jedi. Before there was ever anything like a Jedi, you had the Sith Lords. So you can say the Sith Lords are what created the environment for the Jedi to even operate in. Right? So the reason why you have a conflict between the Sith Lords and the Jedi is because the Jedi is essentially, they want to take over what the Sith Lords laid down. It's the same thing with America. You have the Corporation of America, then you have the natives of America. You know, the Olmecs, the Mayans, the builders of the Americas. So we know the builders of Americas, the Americas are no longer in power, because their power has been shifted into the underworld, the dark side, the dead. And now the ruling powers are the powers of the Corporation of America, right? So you can say the original people of the Americas, they're still here. You know, they are you and me. They're still here. Now, of course, you know, they want to give us the story that we came from somewhere else. But of course, they're going to tell you you came from somewhere else. Because if they were to tell you that your people have always been here or have been here longer than, you can say, the people that came over here, you know, doing the slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade. So we're not denying that people have come here from different places, immigrants. You know, immigrants are coming to America every day, right? But you have the people who were already here before the immigration of, you know, 1555, right? Before 1555, before Christopher Columbus, you had the natives. The natives are from India, right? That's why when Christopher Columbus came over here, he thought he was in India because the people looked like Indians because they actually were from India. So the Native Americans are actually, you can say, Indians. They're just the older Indians, right? You can say they're the Indians, you know, with the darker skin. That's why their culture is psychedelic. Just like if you go to India, well, not if you go to India now, you know, India has become mainstream now. But, you know, the whole science of Shiva being a drug addict, you know, into the psychedelics, into the mushrooms, he brought that culture over here with the native people. That's why, you know, the natives are nomadic. You know, they like to move around, so on and so forth. You know, so you say those people originate in India, right? What's up, Ty? Salute to you. Happy birthday to you. You know, it's Ty's birthday, so definitely wish her birthday wishes. You know, she's been celebrating all day. You know what I mean? Hopefully you enjoyed yourself and had a blast. Whether you did it alone or with other people, hopefully you had a blast, right? It's great to see you that you made it another year. When it comes to the Olmecs, when it comes to the natives, as we call the Mayans, when it comes to the Olmecs and the Mayans, you can say they predate the Native Americans, right? That's why you don't really hear too much talk about the Olmecs. You don't hear too much talk about the Mayan people because, of course, the only story we hear is that they disappeared. But you see, they had their own system of astrology. They built the ziggurats that we find in Central America. They laid down the foundation. The foundation was not laid down by the Native Americans. The foundation was laid down by the Mayans and the Olmecs. So, of course, they tell you that the Mayans and the Olmecs just disappeared. Like, what whole culture just disappears off the face of the earth? That's what they want you to believe, because they want you to believe that we came over here like immigrants. But we are not immigrants. We are actually the founders. So because we are the founders, we have a certain influence over these lands. which they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know your influence that you have over these lands, right? What's up, JMC? Peace, peace. They don't want you to know your influence over these lands because you cultivated these lands before there were slaves. So, of course, they tell you that the slaves built up the country, the slaves built the White House, the slaves laid the foundation. And this is all true, but the slaves come from the founders. The slaves don't come from overseas. The slaves come from the founders. That's how we even had the ability to do what we did with building this country. What gave us that skill set? What gave us that natural ability to build anything? It's because we had already laid the game down, because we were the founders. That's why it doesn't matter how much they hate, you can say so-called black people, if that's what we want to term ourselves as, African Americans. I don't subscribe to any of that, but just for the sake of conversation. That's why it don't matter how much people hate, whether it's your own people or people that look opposite of you. They're not going to get rid of you because you have a certain skill set that no one else has, especially when it comes to these lands. We have a certain influence over these lands that other people simply don't have, right? So, of course, they want to make you seem like you're an immigrant just like everybody else that came over here. You can say America is mostly immigrants, which is true because they say the so-called black population only makes up 13% of the whole population. So if we only make up 13%, then you divide, probably 77% women, 7% men, which not really. It's like for every one man, there's like 8 women. So you can say the minority is actually the man because there's less men than women. So you can say we probably make up like fucking just a couple percent, 3, 4, 5% of the entirety of the people. So we are the lowest percentage, right? But we also have the greatest influence, right? Not because we said it out our mouths, it's just this is how the spirit works, right? This is what's called the balance of the universe. The balance of the universe means that even though that you are the minority, even though you are outnumbered, you still have the greatest influence. Because meaning you can say the whole conscious community started over here. The whole state of being conscious started in America. What I mean by that is when it comes to, you can say, Pan-Africanism, to be a Pan-African, that was started over here in America. That wasn't started in Africa. Because we know once you go to Africa, they identify with the country that they're from. If they're from Nigeria, they're called Nigerians. Right? If they're from Sudan, then they identify with that country. They don't have a collective identification. They never have. They don't all get along. It only became that way when we started to, you can say, claim Pan-Africanism. When we started claiming Pan-Africanism as a whole, that's what kicked it off. It kicked it off when we started claiming it as a whole. So you can say it's political. It's a political identity. Because they don't identify as a whole. They identify based on where they're from. They don't identify, well, we're all the same. They don't believe that. They don't believe that they're all the same. They know very well the differences between themselves. So it's only when we started to politicize it and make it political that it became a thing, that it became a consciousness. That you can say you can find it over there now, but again, they are not the inventors of that. We are the inventors of that. As we invent, you can say, all things. Just like hip-hop didn't come from anywhere else. Hip-hop came from America. It was the Americans, as we call ourselves, right? It was the Olmecs. It was the Mayans that invented hip-hop. So, as we see, the foundation has already been laid. It's just for us to pick it up and to take it to the next level. So that's why now, we're on the internet. When the internet was invented, now we're able to get on the internet and speak the truth. Now, of course, they try to suppress it. But you see, we still have the ability to exercise our free speech or our freedom of speech, irregardless of everyone else's opinions, right? So that's why I go so hard with hip hop. That's why I go so hard with 93, because when it comes to, you could say, the Egyptians came to America. That's why you found Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon. Either the Americans went to Egypt or the Egyptians came over here. That's why you find the Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon. So you can say our foundation in terms of the Egyptian science is in the Grand Canyon. The descendants of Akhenaten came from the Grand Canyon. So this whole consciousness, this Egyptian consciousness, started in terms of in America at the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon, once you study the Grand Canyon, they had whole civilizations. You can say it can be up to 50,000 people that lived in tunnels in the Grand Canyon. That's why we're still not allowed to go there even to this day in 2022. You can't even explore those tunnels. Somebody's going to find you, somebody's going to have a gun, and they're going to tell you you can't be here. They're going to arrest you for trespassing. Even to this day, we are not allowed to go to our foundation. But anyone who went to the Grand Canyon, you see that a lot of those canyons are named after Egyptian deities. For those who may not know, if you look at the names of all of these structures in the Grand Canyon, they have Egyptian names. They also have Greek names and other names, but they have Egyptian names. Because the history is already known for the people that have studied. The history is known. It's just for the people that are ignorant, they don't know. And they're not trying to know. They never will know. They're going to, try to identify with everything else but what they are. They're going to identify with everything else but what they are. But we have a complete history to let us know that this is where we're from. So we don't have to go all the way to the actual Egypt. We don't have to go all the way back to Kemet, because the culture was brought over here. And that's what laid the foundation to what we call hip hop. That's why hip hop has a great Egyptian influence, because it was brought over here in the foundation of the Grand Canyon. Then it spread all over the place. So just like alchemy, which came from Kemet, became the culture of the world, you had to go to Kemet. When Kemet was at its peak, you had to go to Kemet. There was nowhere else to go. Like if you wanted to be educated, if you wanted to be knowledgeable, you had to go to Kemet. So once Kemet fell, the people traveled all over the planet. Right? What's up, Cam? 93. So of course they made their way to America. And when they made their way to America, you can say they became what we call the Olmecs and what we call the Mayans. It is the same culture. The only difference is the land. The only difference is the language. But the culture is the same, because the culture is alchemy. To turn nothing into something. And you see, we have been doing this the entire time. We have been doing this the entire time. Turning something into nothing. So while everybody is against you, your own people are against you, the opposition is against you, you still find a way to make it happen. Because that's just your culture. It is in your blood. Your ancestors speak through you. Your ancestors are a part of you, no matter what. So that's why we praise them, right? Especially the ones who dedicated the entirety of their lives to make sure that we know what was real and what was fake. So that's why we separate ourselves from the fake, from the mainstream, from anybody else who wants to identify with anything else, because we don't need to do that. We don't need to identify with anything else when the whole world is influenced by what you do. The whole world is waiting on you That's why you're the most hated, but you're also the most loved. So while being the most hated, you're also the most loved. So you understand the significance of why you must express your culture in this authentic component, in this authentic state. Its authentic state is alchemy. And again, I'm constantly reminded of this, just being in the desert. That's why I enjoy being in the desert. Again, it's only a couple of states that's desert. It's only Nevada, Arizona, Utah, and like New Mexico. It's only like 4 states that's just desert. And you know, whenever you have a desert, these are the oldest places. So that's why there's so much Native American history here. And according to the Hopi people, if we want to go directly to the Nevada's history, the Hopi people, also known as the Ant people, they say that they came from up out of the earth. So we have other people that say we come from the stars. But according to the Ant people, we come from up out of the earth. The ancestors come up from out of the earth, and they were taught by giant ants. And we know ants are master builders. If you look at an ant colony, it's one of the most organized colonies of all the creatures of this planet. If you look at this, it's ridiculous what ants can do. And ants are mostly female. They're mostly women. So that lets you know it is a matriarchy. That's why you have a queen ant, also bees. You have queen ants and you have queen bees. That lets you know that it is a matriarchy. They have queens. There is no king. But you do have queens. So that lets you know this is not a patriarchy. This is a matriarchy. This is ran by feminine currency. So going back to the original statement, that's why you have 1 man to every 8 women. That lets you know that it is a matriarchy. So, so we try to feel some type of way, that women are, running shit, running households, running jobs, running structures. Like, women are running all, but it's always been that way. That's always been our culture. It hasn't, you can say, other people can't say that. Other people had patriarchies. But that's not our situation. So that's why we must always respect the divine feminine, because it has always been that way. So even with 93, we respect Nuit. That's why chapter 1 of the book of the law, it starts off with the divine feminine. It starts off with Nuit. She starts off telling you every man and every woman is a star, meaning everyone has the royal spirit within them. It's up to them to cultivate it. But you're not going to be able to cultivate it, while you embrace other religions or anything that's man-made. That's why even the history of California, you have, the Queen Khalifa. It's queens all on the West Coast. The West Coast has always been dominated by women, even if we talk about prostitution. Men came to the West because they wanted to get at the women. That's why they really called it the Wild Wild West, because of the prostitution. It wasn't a bunch of cowboys and gun slinging and Western movies as we see it in movies. That's why it's just movies. The real deal was prostitution. Women utilizing their feminine principle to the max, whether in a positive or negative light. So this has been happening since the beginning. That's why they call it sacred prostitution or temple prostitution. This has been happening since the beginning. We may not agree with it now, but this has been happening since the beginning. So that's why we have to take things in the original form, because that's how our ancestors thought. Our ancestors had a whole different way of thinking. They had a whole different way of analyzing things. So when we view our scenario from the view of the ancestors, it gives us a better understanding of what we're here to do, instead of us being confused and looking at everybody else to lead the way, when we are in fact the chosen ones to lead the way. We're not the chosen ones because we're particularly special, because everybody's the fucking chosen ones. But the only reason they say that they are the chosen ones is because of these holy books. It's the Bible, right? You're the holy one because of the Bible. You're the chosen people because of the Bible. We don't have to depend on a holy book. We have the actual evidence. Again, all you have to do is take your ass to the Grand Canyon. You don't need a book. You come to the realization that this is your people. Your people came from the underworld. Your people came from the underground. Your people came from the clip-off. Your people came from Draco. That's why you don't really see a lot of people claiming to be from Draco. They may be from every other star. They may be from every other place, but you don't really hear people talking about being from Draco. Usually, again, people talk about reptilians, Greys, Palladian Syrians. It goes on and on. But you ain't really hearing about the Draconians being, it's a reason for that. Because you can say these are the so-called dark people. Because these are the oldest people. These are the elders of the universe. The original creators of the universe that everybody forgot about. But they still exist. And they're not going anywhere. As you see, we're still here. And we have been able to preserve the culture. The same way I'm able to speak to you now is running through your blood like it runs through my blood. We can't forget about it. And if we try to forget about it, we're going to be haunted until we remember. So that's why it's in everyone else's best agenda, you can say, for us to remain ignorant. Because the longer we remain ignorant, we can't tap into who and what we are. And it doesn't even have to be a name. Because we never tripped about naming ourselves or being considered a name. We are beyond names. We are beyond the planet. You can say we're from Mars. We come from Mars. And before that, we come from another planet and another planet. Like, this is going on longer than we can even imagine. This has been going on before time. Before our concept of time, we have been and we will always exist. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. But again, if you look at the media, if you look at the news, again, we're always on the brink of destruction. It's always about to be World War III. We're always at the edge of destruction according to the news. There's always some bullshit going on according to the news. But according to the ancestors, they're like, yo, don't worry about it. Every time I interact with the ancestors, they don't be having no, so okay, you need to know this right now. The world is about to end. Nah. The ancestors say, yo, take it easy, be smooth. You got this. Just chill. That's what the ancestors tell me. Like, yo, just chill. Let the world be in beta brain waves. Let the world feel like, oh, it's the end of the world. We're in the end times. Leave that for the world. Because you are going back to the beginning so that you can know exactly who and what you are. Let the world run around in circles with their head cut off. It is only for you to know your foundation, because if you know your foundation, you will know your ending, and you will know what to pass down to the future generations. This is the only reason I get up here. Right? This is the only reason I get up here. It is for the future generations. Like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the past. So if we don't lay down the game, the future generation is going to be lost. So that's why I'm here, to lay down the game. And you see, that's why I got 1,000 videos on this bitch, just to lay down the game. So the youth can see it. It ain't really about the elders. The elders are already, their paths are already set, right? The people that came before us, their path is already set. They don't really need to know this. They already know it. It's the youth. Someone has to teach the youth. We have to give this to the youth so that they can transcend. And that's what it's always been about, right? So again, that's why I bust my ass every goddamn day. Going crazy, going into the clip off, fucking with these spirits. Not for me. It's for the, I don't even really want to call it the youth. Because the youth is already advanced. I'm not gonna lie, the youth is already advanced. I'll be on TikTok and shit. I saw one video on TikTok. It's like majority of the class didn't even stand when they had to say the, what is it? What do they call it when you have to put your hand over your heart? I don't know. I don't remember what they call it. You know, they want you to stand up and put your hand over your heart and say that shit. And they be saying it before football games and shit. Yeah, the Pledge of Allegiance, yeah. I saw this video on TikTok. It's like majority of the class are just sitting there. Like, we ain't about to say this shit. It was only like 3 or 4 people. It was only like 3 or 4 people. The rest of the, I'm like the youth, they already know what's up. The youth be making me happy. I ain't gonna lie. Like they're advanced. They already know that this is bullshit. They not playing because they got TikTok. That's why, you know, they always have so much shit to say about TikTok, right? The government got all this shit to say about TikTok. They even tried to get TikTok banned because the TikTok is letting motherfuckers know what the deal is. They call it misinformation, right? But TikTok be putting the youth up on game. I'm not gonna lie. TikTok be putting the youth up on game. They know exactly what's going on. Then it's so easy for them to communicate. I'm like, it's really great to see. Like, TikTok is a blessing for the youth. Like, YouTube was a blessing for us, like, for the older generation. You know, with this long form content, like the youth ain't, the youth ain't really sticking around, right? Right? The youth ain't really sticking around like for the long YouTube, but they got the TikTok. You know, because their mind is moving at a rapid pace. But they already know the deal though. Like, you know, they don't need to listen to an hour-long live stream. All they need is a couple minutes. And they already know what's up. And they implement it, right? So every time I'm on TikTok, it's very impressive. I'm like, yo, the youth, like when I was their age, I wasn't that aware. Like, I was just starting to become aware, but like they're even more advanced than me. When I was their age, I'm like, yo, they're a force to be reckoned with right now. That's why they want to push all this craziness on the youth, because they know that the youth is a force to be reckoned with. Not like, yo, these are some fucking warriors like I've never seen. These are some warriors like I've never seen. Again, it's very interesting. Very interesting. For some reason, my city, Memphis, has so much influence on culture of hip-hop as well as, but they never put the spotlight on us. Well, yeah, see, Memphis, you know, we know about Memphis. That's the original, that's where horrorcore was created. You know, 3 6 Mafia, Lower Infamous, right? Actually, no. It was actually created by Esham in Detroit. It was actually created in Detroit, right? It was actually created. However, 3 6 Mafia made it mainstream. Like, most people don't know about Esham, but they know about 3 6 Mafia. 3 6 Mafia, you know, basically spread it to the world. So I'll give them their credit for that. And we know Memphis is ruled by Ptah. Like, the city of Memphis is ruled by Ptah. That's why they put that big ass pyramid in Memphis. So Memphis has a great influence. Then, you know, Memphis brought us Yon Dolph. Right, Yon, you know, that's why the world changed. You know, when he transcended. Right, so Memphis influence is ridiculous. But of course, if they're not going to put the spotlight, just like they don't put the spotlight on Detroit either. Like, when people think of Detroit, all they think about is Eminem and D12. But Detroit had his own sound. Memphis has his own sound. That's why I'm like, yo, like, hip hop is how we express this, right? You know, we can't put it in nobody else's hands. That's my whole thing. That's why I'm like, that's why I have to make music. You know what I mean? I make music because I'm like, I can't put it in nobody else's hands to lay down the game. That's why we have to do this ourselves, because we are the master builders. So whatever you feel that is being ignored, you have to do it yourself. You can't wait for somebody else to do it. They ain't gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. But that's why we have the ability, right? We have the ability to do what no one else can do, right? So that's how you have to lay down your game. So whatever you feel needs to be brought to the surface, you have to do it yourself. Don't wait for nobody else to do it, because they're not going to do it. They on some other time, right? We see that everybody else is on their own time, doing their own thing, you know, and they just pushing the bullshit. But because you're conscious, because you know better, because you know that you can really lay down the game, it's in your hands. And that's what makes you the chosen. The chosen ones don't have an easy job. They have the hardest job. Yes, this is what I'm saying. That's why I be getting on here, fucking just suffering and shit. I'll be fucking suffering behind the scenes. I ain't gonna lie, this shit is not easy. This is the hardest shit in the fucking world. This is the hardest shit in the world. But I still show up. I'm like, like if I don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. So that's why I have to keep showing up. Like if I don't show up, it's just not gonna get done. I can't put it in nobody else's hands. I don't see nobody else on YouTube talking the shit I talk. Cause I'm like, if I don't talk it just ain't gonna get said, right? Of course you have other people that's so-called dark, but they ain't dark like this. They're not in the clip off like this. They're not able to make music like I'm making. I'm like, it ain't for them to make it. It's for me to do it. So I have to take it and I have to present it, or otherwise it's not gonna get presented, right? Y'all got rap sigils and shit, everything. Exactly. Like this is our culture, so we must take responsibility for it. This is our culture. We must take responsibility for it. It's not nobody else's job. So that's why again we can't be so caught up in. Because we're on the underground, it's only a couple people listening to us. We don't really get that many views. Like I had to put all that shit behind me. I'm like, I already know I'm not gonna go into the mainstream and get major plays and all that. But that's not an excuse why I shouldn't do it. Because even if 100 people see it, those 100 people can influence a whole nother 100 people, who influences another 100 people, and that's what we call the butterfly effect. That's how I look at it. I look at it like the butterfly effect, right? It's not really for the mainstream because it was never for the mainstream. It's for a certain type of person, and that certain type of person has influence over other types of people who have an influence over other types of people, so on and so forth. So that's why we don't get caught up in that. We don't get caught up in the numbers. We don't get caught up in the likes, the comments, and all that. Let everybody else get caught up in that, because that's what makes them. Like if you take away all those things from them, they don't exist. But you see, we still here. So you see, it don't matter if all my videos get 100 views, I still show up. And I'm still out working motherfuckers. Right? I work way harder than somebody who gets 1,000 views or 10,000 views, 100,000 views. I'm working way harder because I'm like, it ain't nobody else's job but mine. You know, I have to make sure that I show up. And I'm not concerned with who sees it, who don't see it, because it's the right people who see it at the right time, at the right moment. It may not be now. It may be a year from now, 5 years from now. The videos are going to be here. So somebody can tap into these videos years from now and be awakened and activated. That's why, I speak, you can say fully. So I'm not just speaking about what's going on in 2022. You can watch this in 2032 and still be inspired. Because again, I'm not speaking about the mainstream. So once all the bullshit is out the way, right? Once all the bullshit is out the way, the only thing that remains is this, right? The only thing that remains is this. Because we are timeless. It's the same thing with my music. I try to make my music timeless. I'm not really just making music based on what's happening in 2022. I'm making music that you can listen to 10 years. I'm like, and still be motivated, still be inspired. Because I'm like, I'm talking about things that are timeless, which is that's what we're here to do. That's essentially what hip hop is. You taking the old and turning it into the new. We can always reinvent the wheel. We can always reinvent the wheel. That's the whole core of hip hop. You're taking something that's old, that nobody's even thinking about, that everybody then forgot about, and you're giving it new life. And that's what it's all about. You're taking something that nobody even cares about, that people have already passed, and you're giving it new energy, which is all we do here. I'm just talking about stuff that people have forgot about, and I'm just giving it new energy. That's all I'm doing. So that's why I don't limit it to the live streams. I'm like, I got to make the music too. So that's why I make the music too. That's why I also have to do the ASMR. The ASMR is inspiring you just without words. So we're not limited to our words. We can also inspire outside the words. I'm like, so that's why we have different platforms. What's up, 90? What's up, May? 93. Right? So that's why I do my best to be a technomancer. That's why I brought that word, technomancy. Right? That's the most forbidden art. The most forbidden art is technomancy. So of course we have the other forbidden arts, the pyromancy, the hydromancy, the geomancy, the scopumancy, the necromancy, so on and so forth. We have those. But if we're talking about 2022 and beyond, We're here to be technomancers, as we call content creators, right? We're here to be technomancers. So when we think about, well, what are the youth? What are the future going to be into? They're going to be into technomancy. So when we become the pillars of technomancy, this is how you do this shit. This is how you use equipment. This is how you use technology to get your point across. This is how you make your music. This is how you do all these things. So we're able to show them the way. We're able to put the device in their hand, and they do what they do with it, right? They take it to a whole nother level that we're not even thinking about. Like I be looking at the youth. I'm like, yo, they're doing shit I was not doing because we didn't even have the technology when I was young. I wasn't 6, 7 years old with a cell phone in my hand, able to download apps and do all type of shit that the youth is doing. We didn't even have that at 7 years old, but they do. And you see, they're taking advantage of it because you see they're already in tune. They know what the fuck to do. Like nobody even had to teach them shit. They know how to pick up these devices and figure it out on their own. This shit is crazy. They know how to figure this shit out on their own. Something that, again, we wouldn't have been able to do. Like we wasn't even thinking about this shit at their age. But you see, they on some whole nother shit. So imagine what they'd be able to do when they're 13, 14. Then when they're 20, 21. And they've been doing this shit since they were 6 or 7. They didn't have cell phones and computers since they were 6 and 7. It's crazy. Like I look forward to it. But I look forward to see what like the youth is technomancers. So I'm like, the best thing I can do is just lay down the game for them. Like, let me show you what's possible so that you can take it to the next level. Let me show you what you can do with these lyrics. Let me show you what you can do with these words. Let me show you what you can do with your spirit. Because it all comes from the spirit. It all comes from consciousness. Let me show you how far you can take your consciousness. How far back can you go into the past? And how far can you go into the future? Right? So that's why we're right in the middle. Like we know how life was before technology. If you're older, you know how life was before technology. The youth don't know life before technology. You do, so you got that game that they're not going to ever have. That's why you bring it in. That's why, again, we have access to what you can say history. The youth ain't really, into the history like that, but you are. You know the history because you know life before technology. You know life before the Matrix, before everybody had a cell phone in their pocket. Because you grew with it. You evolved with it. You saw how it grew from nothing into something. And a big part of that was quantum physics. Quantum physics is what advanced technology. When we start operating from the quantum world, when we start operating from the quantum world, now all of a sudden computers is popping up. Phones are popping up. Mobile phones and shit. That's all because of quantum physics. And we know the quantum world is the clip off. The underground, as we call the ant people. That's why we have footage. If you go back to the late 1800s, you have Native Americans who were recording themselves. They had video cameras. Back when video cameras were invented in the late 1800s, you have Native Americans recording themselves, meaning they knew what the fuck was going on. Americans knew what the fuck was going on 100 years ago. Longer, actually, it's over 100 years. You got people in the late 1800s already knowing what the deal is. You can look at footage. Go look at footage. It's on YouTube. You can look at footage right now from the late 1800s, and you see Native Americans doing their dances, recording that shit. Just think how advanced they were. This is over 100 years ago, so they knew we are preserving this for our people who will see this in the future. They already knew what they were doing. And literally, that's the only footage we have of them. The only footage we have of them is the oldest footage when as soon as the shit was invented, somebody like, okay, yeah, we need that camera. Let's record ourselves. Right? Thank you, because there are many gatekeepers that want to withhold the knowledge. And it's always been that way, right? It's always been that way. It always will be that way. Because again, they don't make it easy. Like I said, it's not easy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I don't have an easy, comfortable life whatsoever. Like, I have to work harder than every goddamn body, right? My life is not easy by any means. So I can understand why most people would prefer comfort. Most people will prefer comfort. But I'm like, no, I got to think about lyrics. I got to think about content. I got to think about technomancy. When shit go wrong, I have to figure it out. I have to fix it. Right, again, it ain't really too many people that you can ask for help, because it ain't too many people on this level. Right, so that's been my life for like the last 10 years. I'm like, yo, whatever happens, I have to figure it out. Right? So, but that's why we're here. Again, that's why I say we are the chosen, because we're willing to take on that weight and make that weight lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. Because again, it may not get lighter for me, but it will get lighter for the future, for those who listen. All right? What's up, Goddess Incarnate? Peace, God 93. Can you tell me what music you're listening to in the background? I like it. Yeah, this is Egyptian music. Sounds very high frequency. Yeah, this is Egyptian music. That's that Egyptian flute. Right? You're hearing that Egyptian flute. So yeah, this, what the fuck else would I be listening to? Just Egyptian music, right? That's why you're the best of your kind. Everybody else living lavish. Yeah. Oh, shout out to y'all though. Shout out to those who live in lavish. I ain't mad at you. Right? But again, certain things are for certain people, right? Certain things are for certain people. I ain't mad at nobody who want to be comfortable. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not hating on nobody. You know what I mean? I be looking at people driving nice cars, living good, and I salute them. Right? They wouldn't survive being in your position, probably not. But I still salute them. You know what I mean? I still salute them. I see people doing way better than me, and I salute them. Right? But because that's what I'm supposed to do, right? I'm supposed to salute. Because if I become hateful and bitter, then that takes away from my power, right? I wouldn't be able to come on here and give you good energy. If I was hateful and I was bitter and I was mad, I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I had to get over those things. I have to fight it sometime. But I'm like, nah. Because the more I'm able to be grateful to be in this position, then the better I can spread the message. So always be grateful. I'm grateful to have a platform, to be able to say anything, and people actually listen to me. Right? Everybody can't get on the internet and people give a fuck about what they're saying, because they may not have shit to say. Right? They may not be able to channel directly from the Akasha. Right? But y'all know that's what I do every fucking time. All right? Well, I have to channel directly from the Akasha. We have to channel directly from the Akasha, because it's not just me, right? That's what 93 is all about. I'm like, it's never me. So I synchronize all the minds, right? We are the collective. So I just know that. I acknowledge that. So I'm like, I never get big-headed. I'm never going to operate from the ego. So that's why I'm like, yo, I'm grateful. So even if it's just 100 people, I'm not going to operate from my ego like it needs to be more people. Not really. I'm speaking exactly to the people that need to hear what I'm saying. And I'm grateful for that. Like, that's all I can ever ask for. To speak to the people that actually will take heed to what I'm saying, versus people that's just sitting around trying to be entertained. Right? Because you have people with way more followers than me, but they just want to be entertained. They're not actually going to get up and do anything. They're not trying to activate their own technomancy. Right? But I know those who will do it. Right? I'm not the only one that do music. As I said, a lot of y'all, have came to me like, yo, hop on this track. And you know what I did? I hopped on the fucking track, right? Did I not hop on the fucking track? Of course I hopped on the fucking track. I'm like, who am I to fucking ignore the youth, to deny you? And you're taking heed to what's being said, like, yo, like, I be listening to y'all lyrics. I'm like, yeah, I see what's going on. So I'm like, what more? Like, why wouldn't I, do that? It makes me happy. I'm like, oh shit, you got some lyrics? I got some lyrics for you, right? You want some lyrics? I got some lyrics. And you see how sensitive that mic, I keep fucking up this screen. That's just how sensitive the mic is. The mic, the mouse, this little trackpad is fucking sensitive. So that's what it is, right? So that's why, so anybody who bring any energy to me, you see I match your energy. Again, so whether you coming for me for lyrics, for astrology, for numerology, consultations, like whatever it is. Like I've been doing every goddamn thing the whole time, right? I don't just do one thing, like people come to me for all type of shit. Some stuff I don't even be ready for, but I still do it, right? But that's why I have to invest in the technology, right? So if somebody come to me for like, yo, I need you to pull up this natal reading, I gotta have the technology to pull up the natal reading. I gotta have the technology to pull up your numerology chart. I gotta have the technology to pull up, your moon sign, your lunar awakening and all that, right? So that's why I have to invest in these things. So that means, whatever people come to me for, like I gotta build, like, yo, so if they come for me for a track, I gotta have the technology to lay down these lyrics, right? So that's why I take the technomancy so seriously. Like I never know what a person may need of me, what requests I may be asked of, right? But whatever it is, I gotta be able to perform, right? Or because I educate all my students, exactly. Like you never know. You never know what a person may bring to you. So you have to be able to help everybody. Anybody who comes to you, you have to have something for them. You got to have something for them. So that's why I always talk about technomancy. Like some people just want some history, like give me some history. I gotta have it. So that's why I gotta study. So even though, again, I don't be talking too much about books, like I still got to know the history to even tell y'all the history. So you never know what people may ask. So yeah, we got to be fully equipped. We got to be fully equipped around this bitch. But that's what we do as elders, right? That's what we do as elders. So whatever the youth make, you never know what questions they may have. You got to be able to give them that game. And again, some people ain't gonna just sit down and listen to you for an hour. You may have to drop some lyrics. Because, 16 bars is only 1 minute. All you have is 1 minute. 16 bars is 1 minute. So boom, you can hit them with a 16. Because you already know that they have a short attention span. So you already know that, right? You already know the youth. The youth may not want to sit down for an hour-long lecture. Listen to a Bobby Hemmett for 6 damn hours. They may not want to listen to 6 hours. They may only have 1 minute for you. So if you're able to hit them with that 16, with them rhymes, because that's all the time you may have for them. So that's why I'm like, I have to do it all, right? So like, even though I be doing these lectures, like I still got to put out the music. Then people want to be relaxed. People need to go into the dream world. People need to astral travel, right? So that's why I got to have the astral travel. So give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Let me grab this charger. It's on low battery. Let me grab this charger real fast. Give me 1 second. All right, we're good. We're good. So yeah, shit, we've been on here a fucking hour already. That shit is crazy. So I'll be running my mouth and losing sense of time. So yeah, let me take another shot. And we don't have to be on here too long. Again, I just want to pop up. Just let y'all know what I've been doing for the past couple days. Getting everything set up. Again, we full HD now. You know what I mean? We ain't fucking around no more. We ain't fucking around. Like I said, I had to bust my ass like no other. I had to hustle like no other. I had to be on genie time. I was straight genie. I had to become a fucking genie around this bitch. Fucking manipulating time and all types of shit. Technomancy, because I'm a technomancer, so I gotta have the equipment. I'm like it ain't no more fucking around, right? I can't be fucking around. Everything gotta be high quality. Everything gotta come like it's straight out of a studio. Everything gotta be high quality, right? So I can't play around with that shit no more. So that's why I'm like, yo, I gotta really take this seriously, right? So moving forward, we're taking this shit as seriously as we need to take it, right? So the same way you see me taking it seriously, I know it's gonna inspire you to take what you're doing more seriously. That's why I do it, right? But if you see me slacking, then I'm like, nah, I'm not giving you our reason to slack. I'm like, oh, fuck that. I can't give you our reason to slack, so I mean, I gotta be on genie time, right? Motherfuckers thinking this shit is magic. I gotta pull out some fucking magic tricks. But magic with a K, though. That magic with a K, not a C. That magic with a K. Cheers. Cheers to the magic with the K. You already know. You already know. Yeah, I ain't even tell y'all. The last time I was drinking on here, the last time y'all saw me drinking, I didn't even make it to the bed, though. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't even make it to the bed. Like, soon as I stopped live streaming, I passed out right on the floor. I passed out right on the floor. I woke up like, oh shit, what's going on? I passed out right on the floor. I couldn't even get up. I was so fucked up, I couldn't even get up. Fell asleep right where I was at. You know what I mean? I was gone. So that's why I said this alcohol do something different. This alcohol do something different. You working right now? Appreciate the stream, always. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching. I appreciate the continued support. I appreciate for y'all to even be here. Y'all could be doing something else right now. Y'all don't have to be listening to this. You know what I mean? So I'm always appreciative. Because again, people can be doing anything else with their time. I'm fully aware of that. I'm fully aware of that, right? Y'all do not have to be here listening to me at all. So the fact that you do, that's why I wanna make sure that the time is useful. Because we can't get the time back, so that's why I want to make the time useful as I can. So it's time well spent. I always want to make it time well spent. Right? So even if I'm drinking a little bit or smoking a little bit, it's still time well spent. So y'all can feel my energy. I just want to give you a part of me. That's all. I just want to give you a part of me. So when you feel me, you know that it's authentic. You know that I'm real, right? But you can't make this shit up. You know this is no pretend. Right? Like, it's really a magic with a K. It's really a magic with a K, real time, right? I got the altar set up right now. I ain't fucking around. I got an altar set up right now. Alright? Got all types of stuff. I be sleeping with my runes and all that stuff. And you see, it still got the fingernails black. I ain't even tell y'all, like, this shit is crazy. Like, people been treating me nice as fuck with this. People be treating me nice. I'm like, what's up? Like, this all I gotta do. I gotta just put these fucking black fingernails on. People been treating me nice as fuck. I'm like, yo, people are like extra friendly and shit. People are extra friendly. I'm like, yo, you motherfuckers ain't been this friendly. I've been noticing that. I've been noticing people been extra friendly. Like, I was thinking like people would be like kind of weirded out a little bit. That's what I'm thinking. Like, people would be a little weirded out. I'm like, no, motherfuckers is extra friendly and shit. People having conversations. But that's why I do it, right? That's why I do it. It's an experiment. And it be things going on that I don't even expect it. Again, my face be a little. I know I be mean mugging. Yeah, but you see these fucking fingernails, like, oh, this motherfucker is not this hard. You see these fucking fingernails, oh, this motherfucker ain't this hard. I guess people open up. I'm like, yeah, I guess it's good. You know what I mean? I be having this poker face on. So I guess when people see the fingernails, like, okay, they ain't gonna take me that seriously. It ain't good for them, right? And just me being on my rock star. Right, rock star for real. Like, this is what it means to be a rock star for real. That's all it is. That's all it is. But that's what I mean. This is part of being in the desert. See, I wasn't even thinking like that. Like when I was in other places, like when I was in New York or Detroit or Atlanta, I wasn't thinking, even California. I wasn't doing this shit in California because like the mentality is different. It's only when I came to the desert, oh shit. Now I'm looking at goddamn fingernail polish. I'm like, oh, I think I need to get with that fucking, this what it means to be a rock star. Because people think like a rock star, like people think like rock as a form of music. But we created rock for a certain reason. See, when we think about rock today, we just think about, a bunch of white boys, making emotional music. But rock don't have nothing to do with that. It don't have nothing to do with that. The original rock stars that look like me and probably thought like me too. Right? They were into the occult. Like I'm like, the original rock stars is what we are now. I'm like, they were no different. They were just in a different time period. Right? So we just bring it up to the current times. So this is just really a reminder of the past. Right? I ain't even do my nails, you know what I mean? It's looking crazy right now, but this is just a reminder of the past. Like we've been on this time. We've been doing this shit. We've been on our magic. You can say this is magic with a K, right? Because this is just strictly magic, right? And I'm getting crazy responses, as I say. Like people treating me extra nice and shit. Like I'm used to people like avoiding me. Like, cause I know my energy, I know my aura, it is very intense, the Scorpio shit, right? So I guess this alleviates the tension. Got these damn fingernails to alleviate the tension. Alleviate the tension, right? I don't know what the fuck I just said. To alleviate the tension. Well, at least that's what I'm getting from it. Motherfuckers like having full conversations with me and shit. I'm like, these motherfuckers would never say a goddamn thing to me. But as you see, it's Las Vegas shit. Shirt says Las Vegas. No, this way. Right? So just repping the city. Just repping the city, right? Las Vegas made me a magician. I ain't gonna lie. Again, I was in California. Like before I moved to Las Vegas, I was in California for years. I spent years in California. Like 4 years. I was in California for 4 years before I even came here. I wasn't thinking about none of this shit. We need to do some war paint. Fucking war paint. No, I'm with it though. No, I mean, I'll be walking with the seal of Lucifer and shit. I put that shit right on my forehead. Alright? I'll put the seal of Lucifer right on my forehead. Walking around with that shit. Shit, that's all I'm saying. I'm like, my mind be going into the demonic world just so easily. Because I know most people don't even know what that symbol is. So the people that do, I know like it fucking freaks them out. Like, oh shit, that's the seal of Lucifer. Oh shit. But this just makes me tickle. It just makes me tickle. I'm like, the occult is just, I don't know, the demons just friendly with me. I don't know what they be doing with everybody else, but the demons are just friendly with me. I don't know what the problem that everybody else has with these demons. The demons be fucking their ass up. I don't know what it is, but the demons are just friendly with me. The jinn are friendly with me. Like they just be making me laugh again. You see, I'm just sipping alcohol. I'm just talking. The jinn be friendly with me. But I think it's just because of who I am. Like if I was a different type of person, they probably would be a lot more sinister. But I don't be having sinister thoughts. I don't be having sinister thoughts. You see, this is really all I think about. My mind is always focused again on this technomancy. So all they do is give me the energy to make this technomancy happen, right? Maybe it's a spiritual rank thing. Again, I be trying to keep my ego out of it. I be trying to keep my ego out of this. But yes, it is about rank. Yes, it is about rank. I try not to mention this stuff, alright? But yes, it is about rank. So you get the level of respect based on your rank. So when you know that you are in the clip off and you are always going further and further into your depths, people will react to you differently. People will treat you differently. Like if I was of a lower rank, this wouldn't mean shit. This wouldn't mean shit. If I wasn't up there dwelling with Satan, it wouldn't mean anything. But oh shit, he's actually up there. Like he's actually up there with Satan. Like, oh, it's a whole different thing. Like, yeah, if this was just for show, if this was just a fashion statement, it would be different. Like oh shit, he's actually in the clip off. Like, oh, okay. Whole different aura. So yes, it's based on how much of yourself are you willing to manifest. How much of yourself are you willing to manifest? That definitely makes a difference. I completely agree. How much of your dark side are you willing to manifest? How much of your alter ego are you willing to manifest? Right? It's something that most people are not willing to do. They want to keep it secretive. Right? They want to keep it behind the scenes. I just put it on the forefront. So like, as soon as you see these fingernails, you know it's a fucking problem. You know it's a problem. Like, all right. You know it's a problem. But like I said, like what I noticed is like people were just more open, people were more friendly to me, like talking to me and shit. I'm like, oh, it's like this is all it took. This is all it took for you motherfuckers to open up. Because again, if I take these fingernails off, all they see is this poker face, right? And all they can feel is my aura. But like this, like just offsets the shit. Like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, this is all it took to offset this dark energy that I always have. So now that the energy is not so dark, when I put some dark polish on my fingers. But yeah, I'm gonna start walking around with the seal of Lucifer. Well, the fucking seal. But you see, like I don't have no tattoos or nothing. So I guess that makes a difference. I don't be having tattoos. I just be having the seals, and I just take them off when I'm ready to take it off, right? But I enjoy that. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't like walking around with something that I have to walk around with. So I so one day I have a certain type of sigil, and another day I have a different type of sigil. All right. I see it as we are much in tune with our lower selves, our ancestors. Exactly. I agree. And that's why I keep saying the rock star. Our ancestors were rock stars because they invented rock. And rock, has a big occult influence. So they thought just like us. The original rock stars probably looked like me and thought like me, probably looked like you and thought like you. So all this comes from rock, right? So before we had hip hop, before we had jazz, we had rock. Wait, or maybe no. Jazz was first, right? Yeah, it was jazz first, then rock came, right? I guess so. I guess rock was like the more hardcore version of jazz. It's more emotional, I would say. So rock is more emotional. But I guess, we are more emotional people, right? We're just more internal. So I said if you're a part of the occult, you're just more emotional. Not emotional as in crying, you just have more intensity. You're just a lot more intense. Like people have a hard time really handling your energy. You're just a lot more intense naturally. So that's what makes you a rock star. Like you just come with a certain level of intensity, the intensity of Pluto, we can say. You just come with the intensity of Pluto, right? It ain't because you're thinking, like you just are. Like you are a walking Pluto, right? And then I'll lay down a hot ass hook. Shit, absolutely. Absolutely. I got these rhymes for days, right? I got these rhymes for days. You know what I mean? Like music is my second nature. Like I've been doing these YouTube videos so damn long. Sometimes I be forgetting. I'm like, I do need to lay down some lyrics. I have to balance this out with lyrics, right? I listened to the Root Chakra ASMR video. That joint had me in the quasar. I agree, because ASMR is a form of music. ASMR is a form of music, so that's why I also do the ASMR. So that's like, when you want the hardcore, when you want the lyrics, I can give you the hip hop. But when you need to relax, and go into the temple, when you need to go into your chambers, when you need to go into the clip off, then you got the ASMR, right? To help you astral travel, to help you astral project, to help you get into the dream plane. So that's why I try to balance both worlds. So like I can give you the mental stimulation with the lyrics, but then I can give you the emotional stimulation, and the dream stimulation with the ASMR, so that you can get into the dream plane and start manipulating your reality as you see fit from your dream world, right? And the ASMR makes it a lot easier to dream, and to relax and to wake up refreshed instead of waking up drained. Some of us, we be waking up drained. I know I be waking up drained. But when I be listening to ASMR and I fall asleep listening to ASMR, I have a lot more energy when I wake up. Right? So I know how important that is. I've been listening to ASMR like almost 10 years now. Yeah, about 10 years. I started listening to ASMR like 2012, like when it first came out. I've been listening to ASMR the entire time it's been on the internet. Yeah, like 2012. I've been listening to ASMR before they was even calling it ASMR. Right? So I know it's a part of me. So like it found me. Like I wasn't looking for ASMR. Like I was already aware of it. Like the people that were already aware of it, right? I was listening to the whisperers. And I'm like, oh yeah, I am a whisperer, right? The whisperers of the demons. Like I'm like, oh, this is right up my alley. Like this is right up my alley. But you don't really see too much occult ASMR. I guess I need to make that a genre, right? I need to do more occult ASMR. Not necessarily me speaking about the occult, but just more darker ASMR, I guess more demonic. I need to do some demonic ASMR. Need to create that genre. Like something only a rock star can do, right? Yeah, exactly. I agree. Bring the occult into the ASMR world. And again, not just speaking about it, but like just making it like scary and shit. So again, that's why I had to lay down the bag for the computer. That's what I'm saying. That's why I had to spend this money on the technology so that I can do all these things that I be thinking about this stuff all the time. But again, for the last 2 months, I ain't even had a computer. I've been doing everything off the phone. Right? So I've been having a lot of ideas that now I'm able to get out. It's been a lot of energy, been a lot of ideas I've been having in my mind, and I'm gonna be able to get out now. So that's why I'm speaking about the ASMR and the music. Now I'm able to get it out now because I got the technology on point, right? So now that I got the technology on point, I can get a lot of this stuff out. A lot of my ideas I can upload it now, right? And that's the whole thing. It was on like 14 minutes. I don't know what space you were in when you created that shit. It is what it is. I just open up those channels. I just open up those clip off it gates. I'll make it happen. I'll open up the clip off it gates, right? This is where I'm at most of the time. If you want to find me, you will find me in the clip off, right? It's clip off it where I dwell. Gonna make me play the deja vu. Fuck it. Alright, I'm about to play that shit. Hold on. Let me play that shit. Let me play the deja vu. Oh shit. Hold on. So as y'all see, I got the bars. Let's see. And that's basically the other part of the video. The energy of the vampire, right? Because that's where you find the vampires in the clip off. Right? So that vampire talk comes from the clip off. See, remember, the original vampires did not suck blood. The original vampires did not suck blood. The original vampires was all about energy. The original vampires was about energy. They knew how to absorb energy. The original vampires were all about energy. So can you absorb energy out of the clip off? That's what it's really about. That's what it's really about. Do you know how to contain this clip-offic energy without it destroying you? Can you contain energy that destroys most people, but it don't destroy you because you keep moving? You don't stay still. You keep moving up the tree of death till you become death, and death becomes you. That's what it means to be clip-off. You become death, death becomes you. All right.
Surrounded in cloaks, you can't see thee. That 93, my philosophy. Them in the stars of geography. I'm invoking them sacred names. Level my mental, reversing planes. Infamous, fuck all that clout and fame. The Kiyama, I set the whole world aflame.
Usually I just had this shit ready to play.
Noah's Ark and I speak metaphysically. Underworld, you know who that ruler to be. Hello, Cyrus, I resurrect sexually. Chosen, receive it. That's because their true soul is vampiric. Way before Vedic, Dravidic. Look at that, this is satiric. Pray the holy creams like the Sufis. Grab the pin, I'm striving.
This is dark as fuck. I agree. This is dark as fuck. I agree. I haven't heard this from nobody else. Don't nobody else make music like this. But 93. Only we can do something like this. That's what it's about. Only we can do something like this. The vodka and tequila gonna have me on the floor. That's what I'm hoping. Like, I woke up refreshed and shit. I woke up. I didn't know what day it was. I woke up. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this is what's going on. I like that shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on. All right, let's go back to the Egyptian music. Just had this shit on cue. See, that's what the music. See, that's why I do the music. I'm like, just in case you didn't understand what I was saying here, listen to this. That's why I do the music. See, I just put that shit on. Did life get more challenging as you climb the clip off, or does it really just depend on the person? Both. Both as in, did it get more challenging? Yeah, because you're dealing with jinn, you're dealing with vampires, you're dealing with Satan directly. You're dealing with Satan like, oh shit. So your perspective of Satan is not like everybody else who's trying to stay away. You're moving towards it. So when you're moving towards what everybody else is trying to move away from, it's like you're moving directly towards the adversary. Because you want to get a true perspective of what this energy actually is. So yeah, life definitely got a lot more challenging as you see. Like, this shit had me in the streets heavy. This shit had me deep in the streets. But I remember being in my lowest moments. Like no money in my pocket. And sleeping on the ground and shit. And rocks, trying to find places to sleep and shit. I remember being in my lowest moments. I'm like, this is normally when people, cry out for God or pray to God and all that. This is normally the time where people become religious. And then I'm like, yo, I guess I'm just made for this shit. Cause I'm like, I didn't do that. I'm like, let me continue to go deeper. Fucking crazy. I'm like, Like, this is the time to actually call out for Maloch or Satan. I'm like, yep, here we go. I always use that as an opportunity. I'm like, I'm outside. I'm in a perfect environment to make some shit happen. So this shit is crazy. I'm like, So basically, when the moments that the average person would start praying and getting scared and afraid and start doubting, like, damn, is this really the right path? Damn, I really don't have anything but the clothes on my back. Like, damn, did I really make the wrong? I'm like, well, fuck it then. Like, well, fuck it then. But that's just me. So yeah, it depends on the person, because somebody else would have got weak and found their ass in the church somewhere. This made me stronger. I'm like, well, fuck it then. I'm like, if this is the path I need to travel to truly know what this is about, then fuck it then. I was willing to go as deep as I needed to go. And I'm like, I had to be stripped of everything first. But that's what the clip off is all about. It strips everything away from you. I'm not saying that you're going to end up in the streets. No, I'm not saying that. But it strips you of everything you think you are. So that was just my personal journey. I had to be stripped of everything I thought I was. Everything had to be taken away from me. So I'm like, okay, so what do you have when you have nothing? So I was faced with these questions. What do you have when you have nothing? And I'm like, damn, I have everything now. So while the average person, like, damn, I done lost it all, I'm in a fucked up situation, I'm looking like, damn, I got everything. I'm still hip hop. I'm still 93. None of that shit changes. I still have the ability to manifest hip hop every day. I still have the ability to manifest 93 every day. I'm like, and I'm doing it more now. I'm doing it more than I was doing it when I had all these distractions. So I'm like, I'm more of hip hop. I'm more of 93, because this is how hip hop started. This is how 93 started. I'm like, this is how everything starts, from the nothingness. When you lose it all, or when you have nothing, and then you come to the realization of, like, damn, I'm as freer than I ever been in my life. I'm literally free to do any and all things. So in a moment where you have nothing, you realize that you have it all. I'm like, yo, I still have my spirit. I still have my soul. I still have the ability to make something happen. But now I have no distractions. And those are the moments I had the most intense dreams. Like when I had nothing, I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. But in these same intense moments, I'm having the most immaculate dreams of my life. Like I'm going deeper than I ever been into the spirit world. So that's what I mean by, I'm like, oh, I have everything. I'm opening up wholly to the spirit world. I'm like, yo, I wasn't having these dreams when I was worried about this, when I was worried about that. Now I'm having like I'm deeply in the spirit world for real. So I'm like, I see what's going on. Like we be so weighed down with life, with trying to impress people, trying to be this, trying to be that. When I no longer cared, when I had to let all that shit go, now I'm completely open to the spirit world. Now I'm seeing immediate results. Now I'm able to take the information, or I'm able to extract wisdom directly from my dreams. Because I'm like, yo, when I'm sleeping in a bed, I'm sleeping on these springs, I'm not really having dreams. But when I'm sleeping on the ground, when I'm sleeping on rocks, when I'm sleeping on grass, now I'm seeing shit in 3D. I remember having dreams where I'm seeing, like, I remember seeing this. Think about having a regular dream and everything becomes 3D. I remember having dreams where it started off as normal and everything becomes 3D. I'm like, what the fuck I'm like, this shit was not happening when I had the roof over my head, making sure that the goddamn bills is paid. This shit was not happening. Now I'm having these dreams that just become 3D. Like, yo, I'm seeing like yo, I'm going into higher chambers. I'm like, damn, like, what the fuck? Like, this shit, like, now I'm able to take that and, you know, be able to sustain myself in the material world. But, like, I had to release all that shit first, then begin to regain it. So, basically, I had to lose it all and slowly regain it back. Again, like y'all see, for the last 2 months, I didn't have a computer. So, I lost the computer, like, oh, now I can't do what I was doing before. So, I had to lose it and slowly regain. Slowly build it back up. to the point where now I can come back with the computer, but now my perspective is completely different. Now I have a whole different spirit. I have a whole different energy versus 2 months ago. So I took a loss, had to regain it, but again, now I'm better than ever. Again, now I have a whole, like, again, had that never happened, I would have just kept going in the same direction I was going. Like, I was just fine with the computer I had, even though it wasn't able to do what I wanted it to do. But I was like, okay, I'm still going to make it happen. I'm going to work with what I got. So that was my mentality, right? I'm going to work with what I got. I'm not going to worry about what I don't have. I'm going to work with what I got. So when that gets taken away from me, I'm like, all right, am I going to just get what I had already, or am I going to upgrade? So meaning, if the computer didn't suffer, I would have never upgraded. We would have still been here 2 months later, and I would have still been on the same computer. I wouldn't have upgraded to a whole nother machine. Now everything is fucking high definition and high quality. I wasn't thinking about upgrading. My mentality wasn't about upgrading because I already had a computer. It wasn't until the computer died, and now I gotta figure out, okay, like, how am I gonna continue to make videos? Now I had to go through this whole process. Like, oh shit, I got 900 videos. Now I need to make 100 more videos. So that's when I started getting more serious with the videos. As y'all see, for the last 2 months, I've been uploading like crazy. I was putting out videos like crazy. I'm like, yo, I need to get to these thousand videos. Something I should have been taking seriously before that, but I wasn't taking it seriously because I wasn't even thinking about that. Because I'm like, yo, I got everything I need. But now that I lose my system, now I get more serious. Like, now I get more serious. This is serious constellation. Now I'm going into serious. Now I take it more seriously. Now I get more focused. Now I sober up. I put the weed down. Right? So now I stop smoking weed. I get sober. I sober myself up. I start to exercise. Now I'm being more health conscious. Right? All the things that you say I could have been doing before, but I wasn't doing because I'm like, yo, I got everything I need. But once I lose that, now I'm taking myself more seriously. Now that I'm able to upgrade, and I'm like, the only reason I'm able to upgrade because I started taking myself more seriously. I started taking the creations more seriously. Started taking the exercise more seriously. I started to take my health more seriously. So now I started taking all these things more seriously. So now, again, I was able to upgrade because now I'm thinking different. Again, now I'm not high out of my mind anymore. Not that I was ever high. I'm not saying I was ever smoking crazy. But I'm like, yeah, I need to take a break from that. So because all that happened, I was like, yeah, let me take a break from that. Let me get on a whole different path. Now I'm on a whole different path. So that's essentially what happens every time with the clip off. The clip off forces you to take yourself more seriously. So in the moments where I had nothing, where the average person thinking, damn, I took the wrong path. I went left when I should have went right. And I'm thinking, I'm like, oh shit. My dreams are crazy right now. I'm able to extract wisdom, and I'm able to take that wisdom and apply it to my life, and I just continue to apply that wisdom, and eventually I got out of the situation. But I'm like, yo, I had to take into consideration, I'm like, yo, that came from the dream world. That didn't come from another human being. That didn't come from somebody looking out. Like, okay, well, I see you're fucked up right now. Let me see what I can do for you. That came directly from the dreams. I'm like, oh, now that made me more self-reliant. That made me more focused. And that sobered my mind. I'm like, okay, you don't have what you think you have, but you always have what you need. So again, it completely changed my perspective. It changed my mentality. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to change your mentality. It strips everything away from you that you think you are, and you begin to see what you're really made of. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's the clip. The clip, I'm like, do you really know what you're made of? Can you really handle extreme situations in intense environments? Then even when I was in California, when I was roaming the streets, when people were dying every goddamn day, I'm in this damn war zone. People are dying every day. People are getting shot. And I'm not getting harmed. Again, I'm literally sleeping in the streets with fucking crackheads, drug addicts, whatever you want to call it, prostitutes. I'm right there next to them. And I'm like, I'm the same as you. So again, I had to lower myself. I'm like, I'm the same as everybody here. Like, yo, they're trying to make the next dollar to get their high. I'm trying to put food in my stomach. Like, I'm on the same level. So I'm like, I'm not above these people. So basically, the lowest of the low, I'm like, I'm not above that. I am that. So when I embraced that, I became that. And I'm like, oh, shit. There's power here. It's not weakness here. There's power here. This is an opportunity for me to empower myself instead of looking down on myself, feeling like I'm wrong or I did wrong. Right? I remember those streams back in the day. You were out in the streets, exactly. Yeah, I see you, King, exactly. So what I'm saying, most people is not gonna show nobody that. That's what I had to do. Are you too embarrassed to show yourself? See, that's what I meant. I had to face that. I had to get over that. See, that's exactly what it is. The average person is not gonna show themselves in that type of situation. They're gonna do everything they want to do or have to do to get out of it, but they're not going to show themselves in that situation. They're not going to show themselves when they're homeless. They're not going to show themselves when they don't know where their next meal is coming from. They ain't trying to get on camera. They ain't trying to get on camera and still teach and still give people something, still have a reason to give. They're not going to do that. But you see, that's what I had to do. Right? You see, that's what I had to do. I still had to I had to dig deep in myself. Like, I still have something to give. I may have nothing, but I actually still have something. I still have something to give. So that's what I mean. That's why I documented. I'm like, ain't nobody else gonna do that shit, right? They're trying to show themselves at their peak. I'm showing myself in my depths, like I'm in the most hellish state that a person can be in. But I'm still finding a reason to give. So even when I was in my worst states, I was giving. I'm like, I still have something to give the people. And that's how I was able to get through it, because I actually found something to give while somebody else was like, damn, I have nothing. And I'm like, yo, I still have something to give. I was still able to find within me something to give. That's why I still kept making content, right? So I was in the worst situations ever, but I'm still making content. I'm like, I'm still finding something to give the people. I'm still finding ways to generate currency. So that's what it was. So that's essentially my path. I'm like, I still had to realize that I have something to give, even when I feel I have nothing. So again, that's why I kept doing it. That's why I kept going. While somebody else, they would have disappeared off the map. The average person would have disappeared off the map. They would never let somebody see them in that way. They will never let people see them at their lowest. When they're at their lowest, you don't see them. They're out of sight, out of mind. You don't see them. I still showed up. Right? I still showed up no matter what the situation was. Right? So that's how I learned. I'm like, damn, I had nothing, but I still found something to give. And because I found something to give, I was able to generate that currency. And that currency ultimately allowed me to get out of that predicament, because I still found something to give of myself. So instead of looking at myself as nothing or low or down, I'm still looking at myself as supreme. I'm like, yo, I still have something to give. I'm still going to continue to give of myself, because I'm like, that's what I'm doing anyway. I'm like, I'm not going to let my personal situation get in the way of me giving what needs to be gave. I can still educate. You can still learn something. Like, I'm still using the situation that I'm going through to teach. Like, I can still teach. I can still educate. I can still talk about what I'm going through every day, because I'm like, yo, this is an opportunity for me to educate people about what occurs in the streets. If I'm in the streets, let me educate you about what I'm seeing with my own eyes, what I'm going through with my own experience. This is still an opportunity for me to educate. It may be an extreme or intense situation, but this is still an opportunity to educate, so that you never end up in that type of situation, because I already taught you about everything you're going to experience when you're there. And I'm like, yeah, that was actually the rites of passage for me. Let me teach you how to not get in this situation. Cause these are all the scenarios you're gonna face, that you're gonna meet, to the point where you shouldn't really desire to even be here. Like, this is what you're gonna see when you're in hell. There's no reason for you to be here. I done already told you. I done already educated you, so that you don't have to go through it. And I'm like, that was my goal. That was the point of me doing it. I'm like, yeah, that was my rites of passage. Let me educate you on what you were not aware of. Somebody who was conscious going through these streets, going through the hellish gates. Let me go through hell's gates and let me educate you about what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing. That was the whole point of me going through that experience. Like, do you still have the ability to educate and teach about what you're going through? Yeah, you're going through hell right now. But can you transmute that energy into a positive situation that may be useful to the next person? I'm like, oh yeah, I actually can do that. That's alchemy. Right? So that's what it was about. It was about alchemy. Can you utilize alchemy? When you feel you have nothing, can you make something out of nothing? Oh yeah, I can. And that was the whole point. Right? That was the whole point. So, but that's how you gain rank, though. That's how you gain rank. All right. Like how are you amongst people that have killed? You know, drug dealers, killers. Like I'm amongst all these people. I'm amongst the most scariest people that the average person will never be amongst. They're having conversations with me though. I'm able to converse with them. These drug addicts, people who are considered lost souls. I'm having conversations with them. And I'm like, yo, these people are not as crazy as people think. They're able to even have a conversation with me, to even want to have a conversation with me. So, like, I'm right next to these people. They're telling me their stories. And again, I told y'all, people have confessed murder to me. People told me about the people that they killed and never got caught. So, I'm like, people are confessing their sins to me. So I'm like, damn, this shit would not have happened if I was in a house sleep right now. If I was in the house sleep, like nobody, like, yo, a person is confessing their sins to me. So I'm like, yo, who am I really? If I'm in the streets, but I'm running into people who are supposed to be the scariest people in the world, but then they're confessing their sins to me. Again, the crimes that they committed that they never got caught for, but they're telling me, and they technically don't even know me. I'm like, yo, I just met this motherfucker. But something about me makes them feel comfortable enough to express their greatest sins. And this shit has happened so many times. Like, these people don't know who the fuck I am. Like, this shit is fucking crazy. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I remember just walking down the street once. This shit is so stupid. This shit is stupid as fuck. I remember walking down the street, minding my own goddamn business. Then some dude pulls up in the car and he stops. He's like at a stoplight, or a stop sign, not a stoplight, a stop sign. So he stops his car. He's looking at me. There's a car behind him. Then he tells the car behind him, he's like, yo, go around me. He's not moving. So he gets out of his fucking car. He stops his car, gets out of his fucking car, walks up to me. But then I stand my ground. I'm like, oh shit, this dude's about to rob me or something, right? I'm like, oh, it's about to be an issue. And all he wants to do is shake my hand. All he wants to do is shake my hand. I'm like, this motherfucker never saw me a day in his life. But he looked at me, stopped his car, get the fuck out of his car, and he shakes my hand. I'm like, and it's like fucking 3 a.m. This is not daytime. This is like, what the fuck are you, like, what the fuck? What is going on here? In situations like that, I'm like, okay, I was supposed to be there at that moment so that I can shake this man's hand. Like, for whatever reason, he felt the need to get out of his goddamn car and shake my hand. I'm like, he could have went about his business. Why did he feel the need to shake my hand? Like I'm important, like I'm a person of significance, like I'm important. This man is doing his own shit. But a situation like that, again, it wouldn't have happened if I was somewhere in the bed asleep. minding my own business, thinking about going to work in the morning. Wouldn't have happened. So like it was just situations like that. Again, like another situation, I'm just on the train. Then somebody comes on the train, like I'm sitting in front of a woman and a man. So I'm on the train, I'm in my seat. There's a man and a woman together there in front of me. Somebody comes into the train asking for change. So he's going to everybody asking for change. The woman gives him like a quarter. But like she's constantly turning around looking at me. She's like looking at me over her shoulder and shit. I said nothing to this woman. I'm not asking nobody again. Like I didn't have no money in my pocket at this time either. Like I should have been the one asking people for fucking change, but I wasn't. I'm like, yo, I ain't doing that shit. But for whatever reason, she's constantly looking back at me, and she gives me like a fucking $5 bill. Like, yo, do what you got to do. Like, get something to eat. So she gives a man that asks for money a quarter, but she turns around and gives me $5. Like, yo, get a meal. And I didn't ask nothing. So I'm like, yo, what made her give me a whole $5? But the man who's actually asking for it, she only gives him a quarter. I'm like, okay, it's just certain situations. There's certain situations like that where people are like they see me. I'm not saying shit to them, but again, I'm conscious, right? I'm not an ignorant person in the streets. I'm a conscious person in the streets. But then the streets is showing me love. I'm like, yo, the streets are showing me love. They ain't have to do all this shit. They had to do that. But I'm like, oh, it taught me something. Something that I wouldn't have learned if I never went through the experience. I'm like, yo, the streets actually looks out for you. If you look out for the streets. If you look out for the streets will look out for you, which is all I was doing in the first place, right? So, it's just situations like that where I'm like, this is not what I thought it was. I'm looking at all these crackheads and stuff. I'm looking at all these people with drug addictions and all. I'm looking at all these people. I'm looking down at these people until I had to become face to face with these people. Then I realized they're no different than me. I'm like, they're no different than me. I'm like, they're not as crazy as they appear to be to the public because they let their defense down when they around me. Confessing their sins. I'm like, they confessing their sins to me. I'm like, the fuck they confess? Like who the fuck am I? Then I had to come to the realization, I guess I am who I say I am. These people don't watch my fucking YouTube. These people don't know who the fuck I am. But they're reacting and responding to me as if they know who the fuck I am. Again, like, ain't nobody just coming up to random people expressing their greatest sins and their deepest sins. But for whatever reason, my aura just brought that out of a person, right? Like Wonder Woman, when she has her lasso, she makes people tell the truth. Like, people just was forced to tell the truth around me. Like, fuck, man, I just gotta tell the truth. I'm like, they just gotta tell the truth. But I guess that's what happened when you speak truth. Cause I'm like, that's the only thing I was doing. Like, yo, I wasn't lying to nobody. All I did was speak the truth. Like, if you speak to me, I'm just going to tell you the truth. I'm like, there is no reason for me to lie to anybody, right? So all I do is speak the truth. Whether I come on here, whether anybody else, I just speak the truth. And there's been so many situations where people will preach like, damn, I appreciate you just telling me the truth. People just tell me that. Like, yo, I appreciate you just telling me the truth. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't do it because of you. That's just who I am. But then people respect that, right? As they say, game, recognize game, right? So it don't matter if you're talking to somebody who you feel is beneath you, right? Your timing is immaculate. Are you ever late to anything? I hope not. I hope not. But I just speak from the heart, you know? That's all I do. I just speak from the heart. I'm not speaking from here. Just speak from the heart. That's all I do. I just speak from the heart. And I feel like that's why when I do speak, people resonate with what I say, because I'm not trying to formulate What should I say? Is that going to be good? Is that going to be bad? I'm not going through all this mental process. I'm just speaking straight from the heart. So for anybody who needs to hear it, I'm like, yo, let me speak from my heart, because I know that that's what resonates with the people. People want to feel the heart chakra. People don't give a fuck about my brain. Yeah, I may be a little smart, but so what? Let me talk to you from the heart. Let me tell you about my pain. Let me tell you about my struggle. Because I know you can relate to that. You may not be able to relate to the brainiac, but you can relate to the heart, right? So that's what it's all about. Like, let me give you my heart, because that's what I'm gonna always have to give. All this material stuff may change, right? I got a little stand right here. Let me move this out the way. All this material stuff may change. Like you seen me in whole different scenarios and all that, but the only thing that has remained the same is me speaking from the heart. So it don't matter if I'm in the streets or somewhere in the tower. Still speaking the heart, right? I'm still going to connect to the heart consciousness, to the heart chakra. Because if you have nothing else, you have your heart, as they say, and that's where you find the heaven at, right? Heaven is in the heart center. So I'm going to give you my piece of heaven. Even if I'm in hell, I'm going to still give you a piece of heaven. All right? I'm going to still give you a piece of heaven. And we'll drink to that. And again, I'm just going hard because, like, after I end the live stream, I'm probably not going to drink no more. So that's why I'm just going hard, right? I'm just letting the spirit come through however it chooses to come through. All right? I'm just flowing with it. See, it was never my intention to mix vodka and tequila. I didn't even do this intentionally. Like, somebody just had a bottle of vodka. I'm like, yo, let me get that. And that's just how I got that. So it's like, I'm not even doing that intentionally. Okay, like I bought both of these bottles at the same time. I didn't. I did not buy these bottles at the same time. I bought them on 2 separate occasions for 2 different reasons. They just so happen to be here at the same time. The tall buildings in New York, the occult meaning of that, and which video was that? You can watch my videos when I was in New York. So yeah, I spoke about New York when I was in New York. So yeah, I have videos of me in New York speaking about New York. Yeah, so definitely check out those streams. Yeah, see me when I was in New York. Oh, fuck. Oh, that was an experience. A shout out to New York. So I have live streams when I'm in New York. I'm in Ground Zero. So definitely tap into the live streams when I was actually in New York. It's like 2017. Let me see. What was the title of the video? Fuck, I don't even remember. I don't even remember the title of the videos. I have no idea. But the buildings in New York was ridiculous to me. Like, I've never seen buildings that tall. Like, it was a culture shock. When I went to New York, it was a culture shock. Like, I've never seen buildings that tall. I'm like, yo, I've been to a lot of places. I've never seen buildings this tall. But the reason why the buildings are so tall is because they don't care about the sun. They block out the sun. Like, you may not see the sun till like 9 a.m. Like, the sun rises at like 7. But because the buildings are so tall, the sun may not peek through till like 9 a.m. You know what I mean? They ain't thinking about the sun. What's up, 420 God? Them streams in the streets was lit. That's what I'm saying, cause that shit was authentic, right? Like, yeah, I was really going through that shit, right? I'm speaking that real shit. Like that's something you can't duplicate. You can't mimic that, right? You know what I mean? Like it don't get no realer than that. It don't get no realer than that. You know, that's why, you know, I'm like, even as hard as it was to be in those predicaments, I'm still grateful to be able to navigate through the streets. I'm grateful to be able to speak from the streets of LA, from the streets of Vegas, from the streets of Atlanta, from the streets of New York. I'm still grateful the streets of DC, right? I've been in many of these places. You know, I'm grateful to be able to navigate through the country and to see the various dimensions. I'm like, yo, it's just a lot of different people. It's a lot of different cultures. I'm very grateful for it. You know what I mean? Regardless of how harsh it was, how hellish it was, I'm still grateful for the opportunity to be able to even be in New York, to even be in Los Angeles, to even be in Atlanta, to even be in Washington, D.C. I'm still grateful to even have those experiences. Didn't you talk about Bruce Lee while he was in New York? Yeah, I did. I sure did. I sure did talk about Bruce Lee. I just don't remember the titles of the videos, but yeah, I was talking about Bruce Lee. Definitely. Oh, yeah. I was talking about a lot of stuff. I was talking about Manhattan, the city of Tan, Saturn, the aliens from Saturn. I was talking about a lot of stuff. I was talking about being a devil on Earth. I'm like, if it ever was a devil, then it's probably me. I'm like, I'm looking around. I'm looking for the devil. I'm like, this motherfucker ain't here. I'm like, it must be me. I'm like, that's where I came to the realization. I'm like, I must be the devil. Like, that's when the shit got real, when I was in New York. I'm like, damn. Like, I'm going all around the country looking for the devil. I'm like, damn. And I'm not finding the devil, but the devil finds me. Like, I keep running into these people that's dangerous. I keep running into these dangerous people. But then they fuck with me, though. You know, they respect me. I'm like, it gotta be me, though. Like it must be me. So in New York, I'm like, yeah, if it ever was a devil that ever exists, I'm like, yeah, it have to be me. That gotta be me. That's all me right there. That's all me right there. The heart's been a major part of my path. I'm still learning to open up. Despise people wanting to stab it. Exactly. Yeah, because you know, people will take your heart and ball it up. People will destroy your heart center. So the fact you're still able to be open when you know how harsh this world is it's a jewel. That's what I realized. I'm like, I still have to open my heart, even though I'm going through harshness, even though I'm going through hell. I still have to have an open heart. I still have to express myself. I still must speak from the heart and operate from the heart center, from the heart consciousness, because the heart is more powerful than the brain. That's why I don't operate from the brain. I operate from the heart. That's the most powerful point. So that's what I came to the realization of. I'm like, I have to operate from the heart, no matter what. So no matter if I'm in hell or I'm in heaven, I must operate from the heart center. So that's why I had to go through everything I had to go through. I'm like, it don't matter if you're in hell or heaven, you must operate from the heart. You must operate from your inner heaven. All right? One of the New York streams is titled Dark Rituals and Black Fantasies. Well, there you go. So anybody who's trying to tap into that New York, Dark Rituals and Black Fantasies. So trust me, like I gotta revamp that shit, right? I gotta get my ass back to the New York. I gotta get my ass back to Cali. It's a big ass country. It's a big ass country, and there's so many energies to tap into, so much history. So much original history, not just the white history, but also the black history. The history is so beautiful. Like, that's it. It humbles me. That's why I was like, I don't even be feeling like I'm suffering. I'm like, yo, like I'm on the lands that the ancestors walked on. Like, I be humbled. I don't be thinking like, damn, I'm in a fucked up situation. I'm like, I be humbled. Like, it humbles me to go to a Central Park and to sit on those black rocks. And I know those black rocks had a significance, you know, to the natives of that land. You know, they held those black rocks in a high standard. It's like I'm able to sit on these black rocks that they held to a high standard. Like I feel honored to sit on these black rocks. I feel honored to be able to go to Devil's Gate, you know, in Los Angeles. I feel honored to go to these places, the most hellish places and the most heavenly places. Like I feel honored. So like, I don't even be thinking about my suffering. I feel honored just to be there, just and to speak from the heart. You know, that's what I be going. Like I just feel honored to even be there. So that's why I don't even be thinking about the pain and suffering. I just be like, yo, this is an opportunity. You know, it's a grand opportunity because everybody doesn't have this opportunity, right? Like I was in New York for a whole 30 days. Like some people come to New York just for a weekend or just for a week. I was able to be in New York for an entire month. I was in New York, so like I was able to really absorb the energy, really be like I really became a New Yorker. I was there for a whole 30 days. Like it take 21 days to develop a new habit. I'm like, yo, like I want to become New York. Right? Yeah. So yeah, I spent the whole 30 days in New York. So like I didn't just come and then just left. Like yo, I was there for a whole 30 days. Do girls not have balls? It's funny. Girls have ovaries. I guess so. Those ovaries become balls. So yeah, I guess technically they do. A girl's balls is their ovaries. He said, "Come to the South." Yeah, I've been to the South. Not North Carolina. Like I've been to Texas. I've been to Virginia. I've been to Atlanta. Where else I've been? So yeah, I've been in the South. The South is a whole different energy. Oh shit. The South made me slow down though. The South, like I see everybody just cooling. Everybody's you know, that Southern hospitality. Everybody's cool. Who said Texas is not the South? I understand. Cause you know everybody's different. You know. Like Texas is different than Louisiana, right? So I know that's what I like the South. That's what I mean by like the South is there's just so many different cultures. So yeah, you don't really know the South if you just been in Texas, because you got Louisiana, North Carolina, South Carolina, you got Georgia. So like even though I've been in Atlanta, you know. The cultures are different, so I completely understand. Georgia, Mississippi. Yeah, well, I've been in Georgia. Like, yeah, I've been in Atlanta, and when I went to Atlanta, I saw black excellence. I saw black excellence in Georgia. You know, which was unexpected. I'm like, damn, I'm like black excellence is fucking with me. Like I went to Atlanta, and like I'm going into a building where you need like a doorman. I'm like I didn't even know these type of people even fuck with me though. See that was crazy. That was crazy for me. Like I didn't even know my reach was even that high. Like people that are in grand situations would fuck with me. So it wasn't just the streets fucking with me. It's people like you have to have a doorman to even get to these people. Like you got to go up an elevator. Like people living in high rises. You know what I mean? People that's well off. I'm like, yo, I didn't even know this type of person even fuck with my content. But they do. So the South showed me just how far my reach was. I'm like, yo, I'm thinking I'm just, you know, fucking with street people. I'm like, nah, people that's educated, people that's in high places, they fuck with you too. And you know, they look like you. So it ain't like you transcend the race. So that's why I say it's always humbling. Like I'm always humbled to like yo, I didn't even know this type of person even fuck with me. And people overseas fuck with the content. I would have never thought my words will reach overseas, but it does. Like I've spoken to many people overseas, and then they told me like, yo, I fuck with you, and I'm like, yo, all I can do is be humbled. I'm like, yo, I never would have thought my words reached that far. Because all I'm doing is speaking from the heart. I never would have thought my words reached that far, but they do. So I'm like, yo, people fucking with me from overseas. People fucking with me in Europe. People fucking with me in Germany. I'm like, how the fuck do I resonate with these type of people? But I do. But all I'm doing is speaking from the heart. Right? So I just continue to remain humble. Like I do my best not to get big headed. Just remain humble because I know that's what people want. People want me to speak from the heart. You know what I mean? Like fuck this ego shit. Right? Fuck that ego shit. Yeah, shout out to Phoenix. Like, oh yeah. I've been to Phoenix. Yeah, I did those videos in Phoenix. So y'all been around for a long ass time. So y'all didn't see me. Right? Y'all didn't see me making my travels around the U.S. So y'all didn't see me. Like, yo, I just had to do it. I'm like, I had to do it, right? I had to do it. I've been in more cities than I can even remember. Right? I've been in more cities than I can even remember. Because again, like when I was going cross country, like again, I took a bus. I didn't take a plane. I took a bus. So like every stop, I'm stopping in every city. Every city is a stop. So even when I say I went to Texas, like, hey, yo, I'm going in all these places in Texas. I'm going to all these places. Right? So I've been to more cities than I can even name, and I'm looking at the people, I'm looking at the language, like how the language changes, how the culture changes, and it's honestly nothing like it. I'm like, yo, America is vast. The type of people is vast. And then when you start talking overseas, it's ridiculous. I'm like, just then the language changes and all that. So America's a beautiful place. All the American cultures and the people, very, very beautiful. Like it just gave me an ultimate respect for all the people and all the cultures that I never would have known existed. Again, I didn't go to the West Coast till I was 18. I grew up in Detroit, full of black people. The only other people I saw was whites. I only saw whites, black and white. That's all I know. That's all I knew. It wasn't until I got 18 that I was introduced to the Mexican culture. You know, people from Mexico, people from Central America. And then they embraced me. So that was just humbling. I'm like, I come to the West Coast and I'm embraced by the Mexican culture. They embraced me. They introduced me to the weed. Like the only reason I smoke weed is because they introduced me to it. I wasn't smoking weed when I was in Detroit, you know, just hanging out with black people. It wasn't until I went to Mexico. Not Mexico. It wasn't until I went to California. Been around those Mexicans. They're like, yo, this comes from the Mexican Revolution. Like we didn't start rolling up weed. That came from Mexico. Like us rolling up weed. That's from the Mexican Revolution. I'm like, fuck, I didn't know that until I knew that. I'm like, damn. And they embraced me. They introduced me to that culture. So like I was growing up, like, you know, I saw people smoking weed all my life. People smoking cigarettes and weed, but I never cared for it. It wasn't until I went to California. I'm like, yo, there's culture behind this. See, I didn't know it was a culture behind it. I was just always seeing people just smoking and just for the sake of smoking. I didn't I didn't know it was a whole culture behind it. It was a whole religion behind this shit. It's a whole way of life. I had to go to California to learn that. So when I saw the California people embracing me, and then they opened me up to their culture, something that they didn't have to do. Again, this stuff is humbling. Like it's humbling. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to introduce me to their culture, but they did. Have you heard about the large vampire subculture? Well, that's what I was saying in terms of like the energy vampires. Hold on one second. Excuse me. Oh man. Like the original vampires were about energy. It didn't have nothing to do with blood. didn't have anything to do with blood. It was all about energy, being able to absorb energy, not just from people, but also your environment, and being able to transmute that energy. Right? So I fuck with those vampires. Like for real. Like, I consider myself a vampire. But, not a vampire that just, leeches on other people, but that gives energy. Like, I know how to manipulate a whole environment, right? But yeah, I definitely consider myself a vampire. I spend so much time in the clip off. Like, I'm always amongst vampires. Right? Shout out to New Orleans. The vampire subculture in the city of New Orleans. Like, shout out to New Orleans. Shout out to the voodoo culture. That's what I mean. Shout out to voodoo. Shout out to the hoodoo. Like, there's just so much culture. They have a lot of vampire covens there. I can only imagine. That's what I'm saying. That vampire shit is real. Right? You may be a vampire and you don't even know it. That's why I brought up the Draconians. You may be a vampire and don't even know it. That's why I'm like, I'm a fucking vampire. Like, there's no coincidence that I want to paint my fucking fingernails black like a fucking vampire. I'm like, this probably comes from the culture of vampires. That's, again, when we was talking about rock. The original creators of rock, I'm pretty sure that they were vampires. I'm pretty sure rock music originates from the vampire culture. I'm pretty sure of it. Like when you see people put the black fingernails, the eyeliner, the black eyeliner, them appearing to be dead, like a vampire. I'm sure that all that connects. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Yeah, the whole gothic thing. Exactly. Like, that's all vampire culture. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that's all vampire shit. Right? So somebody's working in the clip off. Somebody know about the clip off. So all they're doing is bringing that energy to the forefront. But I'm like, all right, so when I manifest this vampire energy, like, people are more friendly. Like, that's the funniest shit in the world to me. That's the funniest shit in the world to me. I manifest this vampire energy, and it makes, like, people are more friendly. You know what I mean? I'm crossing the street, people are backing up their cars and shit, smiling at me and shit. Like, these motherfuckers is not smiling at me. But for whatever reason, when I manifest that vampiric energy, that's because their true soul is vampiric. Way before Vedic, Druidic. Look at that dense and satiric. Like, oh shit. Their true soul is vampiric. But that's why I said that. Like, yeah, it ain't just me. Like, when your true soul is vampiric, when your true soul is gothic, and you bring that to the forefront, and we all know, you can say it all comes from Egypt, because Egypt, worship the dead. That's a culture of worshiping the dead, right? That's why they had the Book of the Dead. So you can guide your soul to the afterlife. You don't just end up in the afterlife because you die. When you die, it's a whole nother journey that needs to be started. You got to find your way to the stars, and everybody don't find their way to the stars, right? Some people become ghosts. Some people become ghouls, goblins, and all type of clip-offic energies, right? With all type of desires that they were not able to fulfill, and they want to continue to fulfill it. So yeah, just being a goth, like all that shit is clip-offic. It comes from the energy of the dead. Being able to manifest the energy of death while you're still alive. That's why vampires mastered how to absorb energy. It's like you're dead, but you're still amongst the living. You're dead, but you're still amongst the living. Exactly, the undead sorcerer. Exactly. So you can say that vampire energy is a part of sorcery. And sorcery is a part of necromancy. Communicating with the dead. Why are you communicating with the dead? Because you yourself are dead. Not in the sense of actually being dead, but dead as in ancient. Dead as in timeless. Dead as in clip-offic. I know how to transmute the energy of death. That's why you see in a lot of ancient cultures a lot of sacrifice, whether they're sacrificing humans or they're sacrificing animals. It was the energy of death that they empower themselves with. You know how to empower yourself with the energy of death. So while everybody else is trying to gain life, everybody else is trying to live, because that's basically what makes people comfortable. They're trying to live. So while everybody else is trying to live, you know how to die, and you die daily. You know how to absorb the energy of death and transmute the energy of death. You know how to live off of the dead. That's why even in Egypt, you had the symbol of the vulture. The vulture feeds off of dead flesh. The vulture loves the smell of death. Right? So when death is your culture, you can say that's the goth. You mimic the dead, the undead, right? We call these a zombie, right? The zombies. But then now we're going to Florida, right? Now we're going to voodoo with the zombies, right? And that's voodoo. Voodoo, right? That's what the fuck it is. It's all this is a death currency, right? You start to understand that death is a currency. Life is a currency, but also death is a currency. That's why people kill. For the currency of death. That's why a person becomes infamous when they're a killer. When you're known to kill things and kill people, you become infamous. That currency. You gain the currency of death. That's why they even, they're putting this person, what is this person, the Jeffrey Dahmer person? Why do you think they exalt these serial killers? Why do you think they put these people in our face? The people that just committed the most atrocious crimes. And then the most recent is a Jeffrey Dahmer. They just made a fucking movie about this motherfucker. Put it on Netflix. That's the death currency because they're vampires. Hollywood, vampires. Aleister Crowley, vampires. You would say 93 vampires. That's why it took you all the way back to the Draconians. It takes you all the way back to the Draconians, the creators of the universe. But then the universe is ran by the young spirits now, but they represent the older spirits. That's really what the dead is about. It just represents the elders, the older spirits. You can say we are the older spirits. I was told that directly by the spirit. I was in a dream and I asked, I'm like, why do I want to be a pimp? Because you are an older soul. That's what the spirit told me directly. Because you are an older soul. You are older. Not older in age, older in soul. Cause I'm like, oh, that's why I'm into all this fucking everything that everybody else hates and they don't give a fuck about. I'm like, oh, this is all older shit. So whether it's pimpology, whether it's prostitution, all the stuff I be talking about, the clip off, all this it only interests those of us who are older in soul, not necessarily in age, but in soul. Exactly, the great old ones going into Cthulhu, right? Going into that Necronomicon, the Necronomicon, right? The Necro, the dead Nomicon, the magic of the dead, the magic of death, all right? The magic of death. I used to read, also in this book I used to read called Psychic Vampire Codex. They have a selection talk about what is that? The Keeperian Mysteries. I may be saying that wrong. The energy vampire who wrote the book took inspiration from Kemet, because that's where it all starts from. All of the so-called elders knew about the Necronomicon, knew about the Al-Azif, because that's the original word. What we call the Necronomicon is originally called the Al-Azif. That's the original word. The dead, Book of the Dead, communications with the dead. That's why we were sorcerers and necromancers. So you can say if you are from Kemet, if your soul is from Kemet, that will make you a sorcerer. That will make you a necromancer. That's why they took so much pride in death and mummifying the royalty, which then takes you to the culture of Anpu, as we call Anubis. Talking about the funerary rites, to master the funerary rites. So while the average person mourns death, we celebrate it. That represents the funerary rites. You exalt death. So even though it's a dead body, you purify it, you cleanse it. The funerary rites. The full moon that's coming this Saturday, is it really in Aries? Well, does it say it's in Aries? Well, if the full moon is supposed to be in Aries, it all depends. If it's a Western Aries, then it would be an Eastern Pisces. And Pisces takes you to the underworld. Pisces take you to the clip-off. That's probably why we're talking about this shit, right? So if it's going to be a Western full moon in Pisces, then Eastern is going to be, if it's going to be a full moon Western Aries, there's going to be a full moon Eastern Pisces. So the full moon will be in Pisces in the East, but Aries in the West. We know Pisces takes you to the 12th house, which is a house of karma, which is a house of the dead. Communication with the dead, communication with the afterlife. That's the whole purpose of spirituality. All right. And we'll take a sip to that, all right? We'll take a sip to that. I'm really going in with this alcohol thing. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. I do not drink like this outside of this scenario. All right, so don't be fooled. But I'm just giving the spirits their proper due. Right, I'm giving the spirits their proper due, as they deserve it. As we will want our future generation to give us the same energy, right, and the same respect, right? So when we're gone and we're navigating the Necronomicon, we deserve the same respect, right? So we're just giving respect where respect is due. And this is from Louisville, Kentucky. Distilled from Louisville, Kentucky. And of course the tequila is from Mexico. Yep. From the agave, we will get our inner strength. From the agave, or agave. From the agave, we will get our inner strength. Right? That's what it says there. From the agave, we will get our inner strength. That's what it says, and that's the picture of the dude. Alright. We will get our inner strength from the dead, right? The spirits. That's where we get our inner strength. We get our inner strength from the spirits, right? That's why we also saw Bobby Hemmett. He always gave respect to the ancestors before he even started the lecture. Then people wonder why he was able to speak for 6 hours at a time, because he gave respect where respect was due, and the ancestors knew what his job was, so they gave him the power that he needed to perform his duty. So when we make this our duty, the ancestors are on your side. Those who are real. I'm not talking about every ancestor, because it was some ancestor that didn't give a fuck whether you made it or died. So even though I said fuck the ancestors, that's the majority. I'm talking about the minority. We give respect to the minority, the ones that were into the occult. That was a very few of them, while the rest of them just lived their lives. Just like we see, everybody, most elders are just living their lives. Most elders are not dedicated to this craft, but the minority are. So we give respect to the minority, the ones that dedicated their entire lives to this craft. Not the ones that just out here living their lives that don't give a fuck about the past, present, or future. But the ones who actually took this shit seriously and who continue to take it seriously in their afterlife. And who can dispense the wisdom to us. Because that's where we get the wisdom from. Right? Most of the ancestors are stuck because they were just out here living their lives. It's very few of them who took the game seriously, just like now. It's very few of us who take this seriously. It don't matter what you're going through personally, you're still gonna perform your duty. It's like being on a battlefield. You're at war, but you still have a duty to perform. Even though you're at war, you can die any day, but you still have a duty to perform, and you're going to do it to excellence. You're going to perform your duty to a level of excellence. And that's all I strive to do. That's all we strive to do. We want to be excellent in our performance of duty. And that's why I do what I do for excellence, to show forth our excellence, not to show forth our lower self, but to show forth our excellence. Because the ancestors were excellent. The minority of them, not the majority of them, the minority of them were absolute excellent. Right? And that's why we remember them. That's why we're always reminded of them for their excellence. You know, for your great-grandparents, were your great-grandparents not excellent? I know mine were. They were fucking excellent. Again, I'm still at awe. Because as we get older and we realize, like, damn, everybody wasn't able to do that. Like, damn, they were able to do that shit. They achieved levels that most people was not able to achieve. Like, damn, they were excellent. Were they not excellent at what they did? They may not have been perfect, but they were excellent at their duty. Because we still learn from them to this day. I still learn from my great-grandparents to this day. I still learn from them. They still come to me in my dreams. I'm still learning from them. I'm like, that's excellence. When you still learn from people that have already transcended, they've been gone for a while, but they still teach. They still have a duty to perform, and they perform it. They still come to you because they know that you are the next in line to take this shit seriously. So while everybody else is bullshitting, you are the next in line to preserve this culture. Right? A culture that they may not have ever spoken to you about, but you see they speak to you in your dreams. They come to you in your dreams. They still let you know, like, yeah, you're on the right path, even if they never had a conversation with you about this path. Because they never had to, because you see they educate you from where? The dead, from the Necronomicon. They educate you from the Necro. And that's what it's really about, educating from the Necro, from the afterlife. That's why they call it the afterlife, because you're still living just after the fact. The wisdom transcends time. It was like, I really got this music going in the background, don't I? I really got this music going in the background. It's just so fitting. Yeah, the artist may die, but the art that they created does not ever die. Exactly. Exactly. That's what makes you forever. So your duty is to create art, because you know that will outlive you. Your arts will outlive you. So when you make your duty to perform art, to create art, that means you are everlasting. That makes you everlasting. So continue to perform your duty no matter what. No matter what situation you may be in, no matter what hardship or how comfortable you may be, continue to perform your duty. For those who are meant to come into contact with your spirit, there may be people that come into contact with my spirit after I'm gone. But it's here for them to come into contact with at all. There's people on YouTube that are no longer here. There are dead YouTubers. But because their art is still here, people are able to tap into their energy, and they're no longer here. That's what it's all about. Asha, do you astral project? Do I astral project? Of course. It'd be funny as fuck. It'd be funny as fuck though. Them astral projections be so fucking chaotic. But that's when shit get real though. When you astral project, I didn't astral project it all the way to Egypt. You know what? Like when I went to Egypt, you know what happened when I went to Egypt? They told me like, yo, you need to take this shit more seriously. That's what they told me when I went to Egypt. They're like, yo, stop fucking around. You need to take this shit more seriously. That's what happened when I went to Egypt. Astrally, I actually went to Egypt, and they was like, yo, we was about to go into a pyramid. I'm like, yo, you need to take this shit more seriously. I'm like, oh fuck, they getting on my ass. They getting on my ass. Like, yo, you need to take this more seriously. That's what they told me. Like, oh shit. See, it's all good when you in America. You do whatever you want, but if you coming over here, like, yo, you can't be fucking around. They told like, yo, you cannot be fucking around. You cannot be fucking around. So yeah, that's the type of messages I get when I astral project. I'm like, yo, you need to take this shit seriously. So that's why I'm here now. And I guess I'll be on here with another 15 minutes before we check out. Make it a even 3 hours. That's why I gave y'all 3 hours. Alright. Again, that's why I invest. I said I dropped this bit bag on this technology for me to even be doing this. I wouldn't even have been able to do this. I would have still been on the phone and shit. Alright? But I'm like, no, we can't do that no more. We gotta step the game up. I'm like, yo, we gotta take this shit more serious. Like, yo, like, boom. We gotta get the laptop. We gotta be the professionals. Right? We gotta be on a professional level, right? We professionals around this bitch. We ain't just playing around. No, we straight up professionals. So we gotta treat it like professional. We gotta have professional technology. So there's one thing to be a professional, but you also gotta have the professional technology. You gotta have that professional equipment. So I'm like, I gotta do it. So even though I'm gonna break the bank for it, like I said, I had to break the bank for it. But even though I had to break the bank, like, yo, it's worth the sacrifice. It's worth the sacrifice. Right? It's worth the sacrifice. So that's why I say, if you appreciate what I do and what I will continue to do, definitely support. You know what I mean? Definitely support. So I got the cash up there, got the PayPal there, got the Venmo there, and y'all know I don't ask for nothing. Yeah, but this fucking technology is expensive. I ain't gonna lie. This is expensive shit. But we're gonna continue to show up nonetheless. I tried to channel you the other night listening to your ASMR. My dreams were crazy. Y'all be taking a risk trying to tap into my energy. Y'all be taking a fucking risk. I'm telling y'all, I'm in the clip off for real. So yeah, if you ever try to tap into me, that's where you're gonna find me. For anybody who want to contact me astrally or in a dream, you're going to find me in the clip off. Or you will find me in the clip off. You will find me where you find the vampires. And yeah, you're gonna have a crazy experience. Because shit is getting, if you think shit is real now, shit is even realer in the astral plane. Alright? Be all type of, it's fucking madness. It's fucking madness. It is fucking madness. Use at your own discretion. It is fucking madness. But if you a vampire, then it's all good. That's what you're looking for. You looking for some madness. You tired of all the boring shit. Right? That's what you're looking for. Right? So if that's your, you know, if that's your thing, then yeah, fuck with me. That's all you gotta do. See, my energy is only reserved for the minorities, because most people ain't fucking with the clip off, so they can't connect with me, because they, you know, they're not ready for those levels. They're not ready for those levels. But you know you are, so it ain't nothing. Like, everybody know where to find me. Y'all know where to find me. I'm not hard to find at all. All you gotta do is take those journeys. I ain't hard to find at all. I gotta try your ASMR. These comments about the ASMR videos, it is funny. My ASMR is top notch though. I ain't gonna lie. The ASMR is top notch. I don't do no low quality shit. Again, I got the best mic. I'll be using high quality mics. Either I'm using this mic or I'm using, you know, my Shure mic. So the ASMR is high quality, right? I appreciate you, Smooth. $10 super chat. The Shadi, Smooth Shadi. Salute to you. Double salute to you. I see you, gang. Double salute to you. I appreciate you because you know what I mean? You take this seriously like I take this seriously, right? So much appreciation, right? You see where my money is going. Technomancy. So that I can provide the best quality for you, right? So I can be the best technomancer for you. So I can provide the best quality for you. That's what this is all about. I want to be able to do everything I do in high quality and high definition. All right, that's what it's all about. High quality, high definition. So if I gotta break the bank to do it, then I'm gonna break the bank to do it, right? Tequila got me sweating. This shit's got me sweating. Oh shit. Hell yeah, I'm sweating, Martin. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm sweating. Oh shit. Hell yeah, I'm sweating. You gotta protect yourself and your loved ones out here, because a lot of people are losing their minds. But a lot of people are also nicer than you think sometimes. Exactly. A lot of people are losing their minds because this pressure is no joke. Oh, this pressure is no joke. So you gotta match your pressure with the pressure of the world. You see, the world is trying to squeeze the fuck out of you, right? The world is trying to squeeze the fuck out of you. Oh shit. But you be on that vampire time though. You be on that vampire time, so you don't give a fuck about no pressure. You see, we don't give a fuck about no pressure. If nobody showed you, then I showed you. We don't give a fuck about no pressure. You saw me in the most pressurized moments. Still making this shit happen. So if nobody showed you, I showed you. So while everybody else tucked their tail and they go off the map, I was still showing up. I was still showing up when I shouldn't have been showing up, right? I was still performing my duty when I shouldn't have been performing my duty. I was always on the battlefield, right? And you see I'm still here, right? We still here. We ain't with nowhere. We still here. Almost 10 years, right? I started this channel in 2013. I started this channel in 2013, right? Spent my whole 20s on duty time. My whole 20s while everybody else is just living up their life. I'm like, yo, I'm on duty time. Spent my whole 20s with this shit, right? And I'm gonna spend the whole 30s, whole 40s. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. This is duty. You know what I mean? This ain't entertainment. Now we can laugh. You know, we can have fun. we can enjoy ourselves. You see, I'm enjoying myself. Like, look, I'm trying to be serious right now, but yeah, the alcohol is affecting me. I am affected by this alcohol, but you see, we still on our duty. We still on our time. That's why I always want to show up and give y'all the absolute respect, because there would be no me without you. There will be no me without you. That's why I continue to show up, because I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you, and I understand why y'all show up, because y'all appreciate me. So I show up because I know that y'all appreciate me, and I show up to let you know that I appreciate you. I appreciate your time, your attention, your energy, the donations, anything, the comments, the likes, the subscribes. I appreciate it all. And I'm going to continue to show up. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to continue to show up because you continue to show up. See, every time I go live, y'all show up. So like, I got to show up. Y'all continue to show up. So who am I not to show up? If every time I hit that live button, y'all show up, who am I not to show up? So I'm going to always show up because you show up. Right? It ain't going to change. I'm not trying to fuck with those monsters. I understand. You know what I mean? And I respect it all. I respect everybody. Everybody ain't a monster out here. Some people are angels. So if you on angel time, I respect your angel time. Right? But if you on Jinn time, I respect your Jinn time. I respect it. You know what I mean? I respect it. You know what I mean? I completely respect it. Everybody that watch me ain't on Jinn time. There's some angels that check in. That's why I respect you. I respect all the angels that can take this demonic, hellish, clip-offic talk. I respect the angels. I respect you. Witchcraft and Satanic Rituals was first video by you. Don't know how I found it, but it has changed my life ever since. Thank you, bro. Of course, man. Of course. And that's what I'm here for. That video was funny as fuck. These videos are legendary. I ain't gonna lie. This is legendary shit. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, especially when you see me out in the field doing my thing. Again, I would do more of it, but shit is fucking crazy though. Motherfuckers be trying to hunt people down on the live. You know what I mean? See, that's why I appreciate it, because literally right when you were able to go live, I started to go live. So that's why I was able to enjoy a lot of that, because people were not really up on it yet. So that's why I was able to show y'all a lot before shit got crazy. See, shit is crazy now, man. Like, I can't even do it no more, but I was able to do it before people even caught on. So that's why you can go back in time and you can tap into it before the shit got crazy. So that's why, like, I'm thankful that I was able to tap into that, and I was able to show y'all, you know, all the different elements, all these different cities, all the different knowledge. I was able to show y'all all these clip-offic tunnels. Y'all have seen me evolve. Right? Y'all have seen me evolve right before your eyes. You've seen me evolve right before your eyes. And again, I don't know how many other people did that. I don't know how many other people just showed their journey. I have showed you the journey in the most personal fashion. It don't get no more personal than this. I got as personal as you can get. I got as personal as you can get. You can literally see the journey. Go back to my first video and then go back to this now, and you can see like, oh shit, look at all this shit that happened in these 1,000 videos. I done gave you 1,000 fucking videos, not 100 videos. I gave you 1,000 fucking pieces of content, and you see the whole journey. You see the whole journey. It's all documented. It's all documented, and I'm thankful and I'm honored to be able to have done that, and I will continue to document. And as you see, we're just going to get better, right? You see, we started from the bottom and now we're here, right? You know what I mean? Now we in HD, now we in high quality, high definition, and we're going to continue to be this. And again, I know this ain't the best lighting right now. I'm going to continue to add on to it. You know what I mean? But I just had to make sure that I, you know, laid the foundation with the laptop. Again, we on a whole nother laptop, whole nother energy. Again, you see, we was going in for 2 months though. You see, I was still on that phone. We went through all those glitches, and y'all stuck with me. So that's why I appreciate you. Y'all stuck with me through all that fucking glitching and shit. You see, YouTube was doing all type of fuck shit. But you see, when we have this big boy technology, this big girl technology, you see, they ain't fucking with us now. You see, they can't fuck with us now. They can't fuck with us no more. YouTube can't fuck with it no more. You see this shit? You see how far we done came? YouTube can't stop this shit no more. When I be doing this shit from the phones, they be fucking us up. Like, because I be having to go directly to the YouTube application. Right, I be having to do it directly through the YouTube application. But whenever we do it through the big boy technology or the big girl technology, like, we're going through like a third party. So like, YouTube can't fucking censor the shit like they was doing this other shit. So they can't fuck with us no more. So they can't fuck with us. They can't fuck with us. Salute to all the angels, the jinns, vampires, and witches, so forth and so on. Exactly. I give y'all both salutes, cause we all in this bitch. And that's what it's about. We a university in this bitch. The ghouls, the goblins, witches, warlords, wizards, witches, fucking porn stars. We everybody, right? Prostitutes, porn stars, OnlyFans. Yeah, we everybody who's an outcast, all the outcasts, everybody that nobody fuck with, we fuck with you. That's right. Everybody who's on the other side of shit, we on the other side of this shit. Hell yeah. Before you get off, what's your thoughts on the power of love? Well, love is under will, right? Love under will. The most powerful force in the universe is your will. Right under that is love. So the only thing more powerful than love is your will. So that's why I say I come from the heart center. I come from the heart center, that's love, right? I try to give y'all love every time I show up. I want to give you love. Show you how much I love. And right under love, well, right above love is will, right? The only force that's more powerful than love is will, right? So the power of love is what keep us in the game. What's going to keep you in the game is love. I'm still in the game because of the love y'all have for me and the love I have for y'all, right? The love y'all have for me and the love I have for y'all. That's why we still here. That's why we still show up. That's why I'm still here. It's because of the love. And you say I have to use my will. I'm using my willpower to power through this fucking alcohol. Like I'm all over the place. But I'm using my will to overpower this alcohol. I'm using my will to overpower the circumstances. I use my will to overpower. Again, like we had to go through all these glitches. YouTube was fucking us up. They can't fuck with us no more. We good. We did pass that shit. I'm grateful. Out of love. We use our love and we use our will. We overpowered that shit. We ain't got to deal with that shit no more. We over that shit. And y'all, you see, y'all stuck with me. What's more loving than that? Y'all stuck with me when even through the glitches, like damn, this motherfucker shit is glitching and all that. And y'all stayed around. Y'all didn't use that as an excuse to stop fucking with me. Y'all stayed down. I'm like, that's love. And I appreciate it. That's why I keep showing up for you, and I'm gonna continue to show up for you, because I'm like, yo, you stuck with me through the hardship when I was down and fucked up, and you gonna still be here when everybody's on their game and everybody's wherever you decide to be, because I'm not gonna say everybody's over here, everybody's over there again. It's a lot of different type of people in a lot of different times. So wherever you decide to put yourself, we're gonna still show up, right? We're gonna continue to show up, right? So that's why, like, I have the absolute appreciation and absolute love, because you stuck through with me through all the bullshit, you know, with the YouTube strikes. But you see, we here. They can't stop us. We continue to show up. We ain't even got to deal with that no more. You see, this video probably ain't glitched not one time, right? And I've been talking some crazy shit, but you see, they can't fuck with it out. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. They can't hit us with nothing, with no strikes. They can't hit us with nothing. We still here. We made it through it. And that's why I wanted to invest in you. I wanted to invest in you. So I could have took the money and I could have did anything else with it. I took the money to invest in you. So I'm like, yo, we ain't got to deal with no more glitches, with no more YouTube strikes. YouTube ain't stopping this. We're going to continue to show up, and there's nothing they can do about it. They can't stop it. And this is evidence, this is the proof. We back in this bitch, and we ain't going nowhere. We're gonna continue to make this shit happen. Right? So hopefully you have felt my spirit in the most purest form. Right? So we at the 3-hour mark. We'll check out. Hopefully y'all enjoyed yourself, y'all. You know, the alcohol gave you a little extra thrill. You know what I mean? I'm a little extra loose. But I guess that's what y'all like anyway, right? Y'all like me a little bit loose, not so serious. In that in-between state. Right? We're in that in-between state. We a little serious, but we're a little loose too. So we got the nice little balance going on. And we're going to continue to show up. So salute. The angels, the demons, the jinn, the witches, the warlocks, the porn stars, prostitutes, the gigolos. Right? All of the outcasts, the rap stars, the poets, the lyricists, everybody who claimed this hip hop, and most especially 93. Because that's the most intimate, that's the most close to me. So everybody that's a part of that 93. You know what I mean? You got the prayer hands. You know what I mean? It's much love. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You know what I mean? You were truly family. Because you were the ones that stuck around when everybody else got the fuck on. So all the ones that stuck around so that you could see me now. You know what I mean? Yeah. You get me emotional in this bitch. Alright, we out this bitch. You know what I mean? Do what you please. Take this energy and be the vampire that you are. Absorb the energy from this world that they try to take away from you. They tried to fuck us up. They tried to put us down. But you see, we back stronger than ever, more powerful than ever. Vampire time. We out this bitch. 93.